Okay, so on to this week's Street Talk time, and before we get started on this, we have got some lovely clickbait. Thank you, Jonathan, for sending this in, and hopefully this can start off a few discussions about this week's Coronation Street. And I'm kind of hoping, because Gemma is reading out the clickbait titles this week, that I can kind of make up for the terrible performance earlier in the podcast on the Bernie Winter quiz. How do you think I'm going to do? Have we got some nice obscure clickbaits this week, or am I going to get a few of these?
You tell me.
Oh, you just, come on, have faith in me, come on. Right, what we got?
Okay, from the Manchester Evening News, Coronation Street character sparks concern as they rumble Jodie Ramsey and it's not Shona or David Platt.
Bethany?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice easy one.
You got it.
They spark concern. I know, Bethany, I can't remember who was talking about it, somewhere online recently, said the Bethany has been in such a tiny number of episodes since she came back in October. It's almost like she came back from maternity leave, but they weren't quite ready for her yet. Because she's not done a whole lot, has she?
No, not...
And so, in a way, I'm kind of glad that she's being involved in this. And then it has been quite amusing this week seeing her doing the odd, I'm going to narrow my eyes. And that's my way of showing.
I do think she's a good adversary because she is a total bitch.
I know. She's an investigative reporter and a headhunted top-tier journalist.
She is.
She knows, she picks up on things and she narrows her eyes at them, and that's how you know that her brain is working there. But it's good that she's being involved in it because, I mean, this story has been rumbling on for a couple of months now and she's had nothing to do. Same with Audrey. And I know that they did say in the... So was it Shona was saying that Audrey's gone on holiday or something this week? But I was literally thinking to myself last week, it's just getting a bit silly now that Audrey's not shown her face. Has she been locked into that annex? Why, when there is such a big story going on involving the Platts, have we not seen hide nor hair of her? Obviously, some of the older cast members can't appear on screen, but she has been quite notable by her absence, don't you think?
I don't know.
Has she met Jodie ever?
No, I don't know.
Does Jodie know who? Or can you just imagine, like, Jodie's sitting there on the sofa with her little secret box because she knows that David and Shona are both off to the hospital, and then in comes Audrey out of the annex going, "Oh, hello, lovely," and Jodie's like, "Bloody hell, who are you? How long have you been here?" She's like, "Oh, I'm here all the time. I just got really stuck into a really good box set in there." But I do hope we get to see Audrey soon because we've seen a fair bit of Rita. Happy birthday, Rita, recently, haven't we? And Ken. I hope it's not going to be too long before Sue Nichols emerges from there.
Did you feel that Rita did a better performance this week for you?
I thought, I got some flack for my comments about Rita. How come when I rant, I get some flack about it, and when you rant, everybody agrees with it? I didn't expect everybody to agree with my thoughts on Rita's not that great at the moment. But I thought she was fine on her birthday episode. I don't know what was going on with that silly plate. But,
that plate was majestic. I was looking up yesterday, how do I get this plate? How can I make a plate like this?
ITV loved, as long as you put it on your favourites and notifications on.
There will be a bidding war for that plate. I don't think it's even worth getting involved in it.
I don't think I want to. I just thought it was a bit silly. Anyway,
I loved it so much. I want to make an entire range of them.
Tell you what, who would have loved it? Gina Seddon. She loves a commemorative plate, doesn't she?
That's what I was thinking.
I know they're usually dogs, but I'm sure she'd make an exception for...
Apparently people called Rhea a bitch over her life.
Over her 90 plus years, yeah. Okay, what we got next?
Right, so the Metro have done an update to a poll that they ran about who should die. So it says Coronation Street fans have decided who should die in upcoming murder twist. So who do you think won the poll out of Theo, Carl, Jodie, Megan and Maggie?
I think Theo is the hot favourite for most desired death.
Yeah, that's the one that won. And then second place was Carl with 18.
Yeah,
so Theo got 68%. Carl got 18, Jodie got 6, Megan got 5 and Maggie got 3. That's a really good turnout for Maggie, I've got to say.
Yeah, people aren't baying for Maggie's blood just yet.
Good for her.
I'm not surprised that everybody wants Theo dead, but... I don't know. I don't want to see him arrested. I'm still happy for the storyline to keep running a little bit longer.
Now here's a good what's that meme of that guy sweating over which button to press?
Yeah, the big chin.
It's Ian McLeod sweating over a button going, it's a survey.
Yeah, how scientific.
But it's an online survey. So I can ignore it. Or can I? I don't know.
Maybe that's how they did it. I mean, you haven't had any more YouGov Coronation Street quizzes, have you? But maybe.
On the blacklist.
I mean, is there anybody that did it? And then they had those 5 characters saying, it just... just in case we were going to kill one of these people, who would you want to see killed off? And that's literally who they based it on. And also, if you're an obsessive 1% fan, we are not going to take your opinion into account whatsoever.
Well, yeah, they can weed us out, can't they, of their surveys? Go, how often do you watch Coronation Street? 5 days a week, you obsessive nerd.
Yeah,
well, you're irrelevant.
What you're talking about.
I do want to just slightly defend Ian McLeod here. He's being misquoted. He did say that Twitter represents... Only 1% of Coronation Street viewers use Twitter, and of those, only 0.5% actually talk about Corrie on Twitter.
Yeah.
So that's what he actually did say. So
I know, I do genuinely 100% feel a bit bad for Ian McLeod because he has caught an awful lot of flack.
He really has.
And I honestly, and maybe I should, but I don't bear any grudge against Ian McLeod and his decisions about Coronation Street. And I don't know why I do. I'm just a generally nice feeling sort of person. I don't particularly hate anybody.
He's not doing anything like malicious, is he? It's just like got a different.
He's just got a different way of doing
vision
things
for what Coronation Street should be.
Yeah.
And on the whole, it's not like he's making a program that we hate. I know some people really don't want to like watching Corrie anymore, and I can totally sympathise with their.
Well, there was a great piece in the Metro this week about somebody who's switched off recently, but I know. Like I said in the discussion last week, sometimes in your job you've got to go with what data says so that you can say, oh look, here's my targets, and I know it's not. I'm not stupid.
It's KPI, Michael.
But well, what can you say? What can you say? Sorry, what's the next piece of clickbait, darling? So I don't want this to turn into another McCall rant.
Coronation Street fans work out who Olivia's father is, and they're linked to Jodie. Yes, Olivia.
Olivia's father. Oh, so that was a quite interesting mystery this week, wasn't it? It was this week that Olivia showed up, the little girl that we seemed to get the impression that Jodie was some kind of nanny to her.
Mm. Well, I read this headline. I was like, "Who the hell's Olivia?" I had to look it up.
I don't think actually Olivia's father is anybody that we know. Although there has clearly this week been some surprise developments that Jodie is in some way linked to the Mal and Bernie story because she's the one that took the photo. So it's like, is Mal Olivia's father?
She didn't take the photo. She
cut a piece out.
Make it sound like she was going around taking photos of people.
I don't. Who are people suggesting that Olivia's father is?
People wonder if Graham is her dad.
Emmerdale Graham.
Emma Graham.
I mean, that does make sense actually. What with Jodie having a very clear link to Graham, but I don't know.
Coronation Street seemed to completely reject any idea that there would be any link whatsoever between the two shows going on from Corriedale. But this whole thing with Graham is just looming.
I think,
and the longer it goes, the less I'm interested in it being anything to do with Emmerdale or Graham.
I've got a feeling that a lot of this stuff is going to come out on Swallow Wedding Flash Forward Week because, like we've said, everybody is going to get attacked apart from Maggie seemingly, unless she's the final victim, I don't know, at some point. So there's got to be some reason that someone's going to attack her. Jodie's looking shady. Jodie was looking like, someone's coming after me. So I'm going to say that in 2 months' time we might have a little bit more idea about it, but I don't know whether I'm interested enough to wait 2 months for it. By the way, we're perfectly fine to say that they 100% did film the Swallow Wedding this week, didn't they? I know we're a spoiler-free podcast, but it's not a spoiler if we've been told in a flash forward that they're getting married on the 23rd of April. So that all went on this week. I'm sure there was some run-up to the filming last week, because we talked about that, didn't we, when we were up in Manchester? Yeah. We had a hot lead that there was some filming a bit going on last week as well, but it sounds like the big day was, Tuesday, Wednesday that was filmed this week? And soap queen Sharon Marshall was there to cover it, so I'm sure there'll be lots of behind-the-scenes things on This Morning in a couple of months' time.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
Apparently it was a beautiful wedding rainbow emoji. So look out for that.
If you're interested, you already know.
I don't know much about it.
All of the information. That's
is there lots of info? Is that I literally don't know.
Who picked the outfits and etc.
Oh no, I don't know anything about that. I'll still stay spoiler free there. But okay, what we got? What else we got?
The other thing was that maybe Graham is the chauffeur and she was the nanny and.
Oh okay. Whatever.
Manchester Evening News: Coronation Street fans work out Jodie Ramsey trophy box mystery amid DNA theory.
Oh okay. So yeah, the trophy box is quite an intriguing mystery to me. We've now got Bernie's face in there. I thought that we'd have Shona's wedding ring find a new home in there, but clearly not. And I don't know what anyone would have found out about a mystery so far. DNA linked to, I don't know. Is it something to do with Corriedale? No, maybe, perhaps.
I don't really know where the DNA stuff comes from, but there's a lot of speculation about who's related to who.
Is there really?
Well,
is there any speculation concerning the Jodie and Mel link and why she's trying to frame him, I suppose, or she tried to frame him at the beginning?
There's literally this is like the spaghetti theory of the moment where you're throwing everything at the wall.
Okay, go on, what we got?
Well, everyone thinks that Jodie's a kleptomaniac.
Yes.
Who just takes things.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. I think that's rude.
What do you mean?
That's like saying magpies are kleptomaniacs. Maybe she just likes collecting things.
Okay.
Don't go around throwing that word.
Okay.
They think that maybe... So we've had... Okay, so Mike Presley, 13, reckons Jodie's mum is Bernie. And so Jodie and Shona are half-siblings. And
no.
Wee Westy, 29, says that Shona and Jodie have the same dad, different mums, so Bernie could be Jodie's mum.
Bernie is not
Darren
Bernie
Passy
would
agrees.
know.
Yeah, could Bernie be Jodie's mum? I'm Ken Barlow.
She's already had a secret child with Kit.
Jodie isn't Shona's sister after all. She's a product of an affair between Bernie Winters and Big Jim. And then Emma Mack 111 could be Mal is really Jodie's dad, or Jim McDonald and Bernie are Jodie's parents. And Soap Theory said, what if Jodie is Kit's twin sister, but Bernie doesn't remember giving birth to twins?
No, that's a load of Jodie baloney, that is. I'm not having any of that. But the mention of Big Jim there, we spoke last week on the podcast about the potentially quite true theory that Jim is going to turn out to be the father of Ben. I've not had any evidence to convince me otherwise this week. I know that I know it's not come out yet, but Maggie's been doing an awful lot more lurking around and glaring at her and her darling son and Steve being together. We had Ben taking Steve to the hospital, sitting out there. 100%. Are you kind of feeling that this is definitely going to happen?
But it is a bit nuts because it comes off the back of, Debbie is actually...
I know.
It's really unfortunate that these two things are kind of like fun and delicious and I like the idea of them, but I do think it's like starting to ruin the integrity of the soap as a whole. And I know that sounds dumb.
No, it doesn't. It's absolutely true. We used to go many decades between, so-and-so is secretly so-and-so such and such. And now it seems like they're just coming at a rate. I mean, for heaven's sake, if and when, because it's going to happen, isn't it? Steve is revealed to have a new brother in Ben. He literally had this happen to him with Emma. It was 5-6 years ago that we found out that, what a surprise, this girl who has been working at the pub is actually related to Steve. And now it's like, what a surprise, this man who happens to be working at the pub is actually related to Steve. Like, come
Emma,
on.
sunning herself on some beautiful beach in Australia and she looks at her phone and it says, by the way, guess what? I've just discovered. And she just sighs and puts her phone down. I'm not getting involved in that anymore.
No, she's got a new uncle Ben. Maybe she'll...
we're not allowed to say that.
Not allowed to reference that particular rice brand anymore.
No, it's just Ben, thank you.
Well, maybe we will... maybe this will make Emma come back, which I would absolutely love.
I mean, it feels like if you were to chart this on a rate of what's the... the rate of mystery relatives per year... we're on a trajectory to 4 a week next year.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that Coronation Street. You can't keep returning to that same
More and more improbable things are happening on this show. And is it actually going to turn out to be secretly all along a science fiction show where the integrity of the reality of the fabric, the very nature of reality is slowly coming undone, and they are doing a secret crossover with Doctor Who. And when they said recently, oh, we've got a new streaming partner for Doctor Who, we're going to reveal it, who it is. It's actually ITV, and we're doing a crossover with Coronation Street because, was there I don't know, but.
I know what you mean. I know.
It does feel like the fabric of space-time is unravelling, and the black hole is centred on Coronation Street.
Well, I'd say I was about this whole mystery. I was saying to you earlier that they missed a prime opportunity for a bit of teasing of that story today, because when Mary came round to look for her to borrow Amy's phone battery thing, they totally should have had Amy come back from downstairs or wherever and say, oh, I can't find it. Oh, maybe it's in the dresser. And then as she'd open up the dresser to look for this battery, started taking out a variety of clues / red herrings. That would have been perfect, because that would have given a little bit of a tease to the Corrie fans and go, one of these things that Amy is pulling out of the cupboard was the thing that Maggie saw, but which one is it? I mean, again, it's too late now, isn't it? Because they've let it go on for too long.
Yep.
I think this would have been a much better mystery. And, maybe this time next week, I'm going to be eating my words, as I am often doing on this podcast, and going, I can't believe that's not true at all.
But they love
secret
it.
was something completely
different. I bet you Corrie loved it.
Actually, was Peter Barlow, and I was right all along. But yeah, they've left it too long. If this had just come up, because we were all saying Peter Barlow, weren't we?
Yes.
If they'd have just out of nowhere come and gone, bam, actually, Jim and Ben, then we're like, that would have been great. But it's been percolating around too long at this point, and it's not going to be a big surprise. And again, I am sorry for any listeners who I've spoilt this to with the it's not even theory. It's not really theorising, isn't it? It's like, come on, we know it's going to happen now. But
I would have just loved it if they had filmed like Amy just like rummaging around, and she's like, "Oh wow, man, look what's in here, like an anchor. Oh, that was Uncle Peter's. Yeah, let me just this is Deirdre's glasses. Oh man, I miss
picture
her.
Of Jim McDonald.
Oh yeah, Uncle Jim. Yeah, I mean Grandad Jim. I love him.
Here's Samir. Let's just take him out, and then we're like, which one of these is the? Oh,
it's a DNA test. I remember when we did these. It's so funny. Do you remember when it turned out we were related to some family in Ireland we never heard of? Anyway, I'll put them all back in because that's not what I was looking for.
That's for next week. That would have been good, but
it's Uncle Albert's old.
Is his old war medals? Is it a little coin collection? Anyway, I don't know. Maybe next week we'll know. Maybe the week after. But it feels like it's coming because they are now really, as I say, letting this percolate for a little bit too long.
It is a weird choice to have Jim like reintroduced. Did they think that we wouldn't know who he was or something? Because it's ruined the surprise, isn't it? Like we all went, oh, it must be him that's secretly involved in this.
It's a shame. It's a shame because we were so like, oh, they answered what she's seen in the cupboard, and now we're like, we know, just tell us.
The only way it could have been, but it would have been like super clumsy, like, oh no, just got a phone call that my dad, Jim McDonald, I call him Big Jim McDonald, has died. Jim McDonald, you say? That's my secret father. What? We're brothers? Wow, at least nobody guessed this in advance. I'm glad we talked this through right now.
Gemma, Big Jim is not dead yet. He might...
Just ill.
As far as we're concerned at the moment, he may go on to make a full recovery. But he is just very, very sick at the hospital at the moment. But yeah, you're right. That was one of my few niggles about Corrie this week.
What?
Why does Steve have his dad in his phone as Big Jim McDonald? Because that's what the fans call him. I don't think anybody would have their dad as Big anything, would they? And it's not like that was his nickname on Coronation Street.
Is your dad on your phone as Dad or as his name?
My dad actually on my phone is as his name.
Yeah, my parents have their
names. It's because they, Apple's want you to have a first name and a second name. And so I just did it, but I do feel a bit funny about it.
First name, surname, company, dad.
Yeah. Do you actually have that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I actually have 3 people with the same surname as me on my phone, and only 2 of them are related to me. So I often think that when I'm in a horrible accident, because you don't even have the same surname as me, like maybe my colleague from work who happens to have the same surname as me will be phoned up and told very sorrowfully that I've died.
Well,
and they'll be like, I don't care. Because
it is a very common surname that you've got.
Don't work there anyway.
I Googled myself this week. We will get on to Corrie to talk soon. I Googled myself. There's a flipping load of Michael Dodsons that are actually famous for various things like architecture and art. And
they think you're the loser.
I thought
you're dragging them down.
I didn't think that my name would actually, because my surname isn't the most common of surnames, is it? And the fact that there's lots of Michael...
I don't think my surname's that common, is it? I don't know.
Yeah, of course it is. If you search Michael Dodson Coronation Street, then you can find me. But I suppose it's going to have fewer people will secretly stumble upon me of our very secret podcast.
Don't tell anyone about this.
Very few people in real life know about still. Okay, right. We must get on to talking about this week's curry because we've been waffling on for far too long. We've got 6 stories this week. I don't have any amazing storyline titles, unfortunately, but I am quite pleased with Mal à la tête, which is what we're now calling the Mal Roper storyline after she's got bashed on the bonce by Kit. So a little bit of touche à la française pour toi, Gemma, for today. Mal à la tête, but I was going to at one point call it maladjusted because he has totally at the beginning of the week gone off the rails, hasn't he?
I'm at 1,490 straight Conway. Duolingo, sorry, I understand exactly what you just said.
Twisted Sister, did we call it that before? I don't know. We know it's been Shoujo before.
Ask your mum.
We have also... this is what I'm calling the George storyline. Morning Suit. Spelt with a U.
Nice.
Do you like that
I thought that's brilliant.
I wasn't too sure about that one, but I'll take it. I also was thinking of Sue George, because apparently there's a famous person called Sue George, but I don't know.
Who's that?
I don't know. I found a Wikipedia. I'm not sure.
Right,
but Morning Suit, because there is a lawsuit from a widow. I'll have that. Now, you touched on this earlier. I'm calling the Jim storyline this week Jimmy Mystery, as a Corrie throwback to our dear departed Cal, because there is a bit of somewhat of a mystery about Jim. What's wrong with him? Is that enough to be a mystery? I don't know. But I'm going to call it that. You could also call it something like Steve skips going to the gym, which is something that I'm sure... What are you looking at me like that? Which, as I have personally been doing for the past 16, 17 years or so. We also had a slight return to the Stan, Lauren and Oliver, hardly, storyline, and a woefully inadequate amount of Mama in the Slammer this week. No Sam at all this week, did we?
Do you know what's so stupid about this? There were 2 mamas in the Slammer this week, and I couldn't work out which one you were talking about.
Wasn't there? We had Bernie in the Slammer and Debbie. Right, okay. So let's get started.
What were you just saying? No, I don't know.
What do you mean?
You said something else. I was trying to listen, but also
don't worry about it. It's fine. We must get on with reminding ourselves what happened this week in Coronation Street. I'll take the Mal storyline if you like. I quite enjoyed that this week. That was a bit of a highlight for me. I was not expecting him to end up in hospital by the end of the week. That really came out of nowhere.
Is this not a bit like what happened with evil Noah?
This is exactly what happened with evil Noah. He just kind of had an
off screen.
Well, yeah, Noah was killed off screen. I'm kind of hoping and assuming that Mel's not going to be killed here, because I think that the actor's doing a great job. I think he's a really intriguing character.
He's a really good actor. He was really... Look, I know lots of people were like going, oh, I knew straight away that he was a wrong-un. I knew straight away he's a wrong-un. I think that the people who thought he was a wrong-un are the only ones that are saying, and us, because we were totally tricked. But we're like, I'm fine to admit that, because that's what Coronation Street wanted. I don't have an ego about being tricked by Coronation Street. It's what you want them to do. I think all the people that thought he was fine are like just too scared to say anything. But the actor is really good, because he did come across as a quite sweet,
friendly chap.
Like persistent. And I'm sorry, but I'm of a generation of women where men are like that to you, and it's not necessarily
Gemma's
right.
always being chatted up by men.
It's not right, but it's not as it. I'm digging myself into a hole here, but that behaviour
makes it change from me doing it.
That behaviour was totally the sort of thing that you would get just like run of the mill, and so Bernie brushing it off and me brushing it off. That's just what life was like.
Yeah, it has now been made very, very clear that he is.
But he's clearly evil.
Quite
I'm just
unhinged.
saying. It's totally like. It's totally would have been a thing that you flirt with somebody and you get turned down a couple of times, and then then you move on.
Yeah.
And it's not acceptable to do that now. I completely understand that Mal is evil and wrong, but I just think that the actor. My point is, everyone's gonna get mad at me. My point is that the actor can change, just like Megan actually, where they look sweet and like innocent and nice and friendly, and then they just kind of turn, and you're like, actually, this person's terrifying. I'm really scared of them. What could they do? They could do anything. They're unhinged.
He's great. He's great. Which is why, in a way, I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to see the attack on him. I think that's another well that Corrie are returning to a little bit too often, because you said that it happened to Noah last year where he died off screen, but we also had last year Costello getting run over. We only heard about it, and then I think it was a little while before we actually even got to see him in hospital. And then we also had who else was attacked last year that we didn't see? Gone out of my head. Gary.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know we saw it in a flashback eventually, but yeah, there's a little bit over-reliance on off-screen action happening just so there can be a slight mystery on who did it, because they didn't particularly keep it a mystery for too long that it was Kit, did it? In fact, it was fairly obvious straight away that it was Kit.
I didn't know.
Well, he was given a few shifty
I did
looks,
say to you, like, do you think it could be Kit? And you're like, yeah, it's obviously. But yes, Mal's, to be clear, Mal's very evil.
He's just a bit wrong.
But I'm just saying, like,
there've been more evil people than Mal on the street.
It's very uncomfortable when a man does this to you, but I'm just saying it's quite common, and not everybody was turned into psycho, stalker, murderer, weirdo. And actually, he's being maligned by the show.
Maligned.
Because it wasn't him that cut that picture up.
No, exactly. It was Jodie, wasn't it?
He only tried to trap her in the cafe,
shop.
which, you know, when I was a kid, was a perfectly acceptable form of flirting. And if a man didn't do that, we wouldn't be able to marry him.
He was just taking cues from Sarah Louise, I tell you.
I know. Well, it's fine when she does it, apparently.
It's funny when she does it. I wonder whether one of the reasons that we've not seen Mel in hospital is because Corrie is still trying to keep us hanging a little bit on, does Alice exist? Because I would have thought that probably Alice is going to be there by his bedside if she actually is a person that's, you know,
real,
not dead. So
that's a good point, Michael. I never thought of that.
We still want to. Anyway, so I mean that was basically the Mel story, but now to break it down in intricate detail, here comes me. Monday, we've got. Bernie's just a little bit spooked by what's going on with Mel, and there's a phone call, isn't there, first thing on Monday morning from a withheld number. She obviously thinks that it's him, and this is when we get a lovely deving performance of him. He phones up and is like, "Hello, it is me, Bernadine. Oh yes, I would loft insurance. He can do it better than me.
Loft insurance?
Insulation, one or the other, I don't know. I told you he can do it better than me. There's this little side couple of mentions this week about Asher. Is it like she's going back to work this week?
No, remember she's transitioning to back to work by first of all doing patient transport.
Is that what it was it? Okay, and she's going to be doing a bit of driving in September or something. I don't know. We didn't get to see any of that.
I'm sorry, but driving anything anywhere is my worst nightmare. I cannot... Anyone who drives for a living, I take my hat off to you, because I don't even like driving myself anywhere.
I wouldn't.
I hate it. I don't... Where'd you park?
As long as I can put my podcast on or my Paul Heaton to sing along to. Is that allowed in ambulances?
Well, I can listen to my podcast in an ambulance.
No, a little bit X-rated. Anyway, for some reason,
what?
Dev's going to the Cotswold with Asher on Monday.
But the Cotswolds is great.
Because is he just getting his own back on Bernie for going to Stonehenge without him last year? I'm not sure.
The Cotswolds, the perfect time to visit the Cotswolds, everyone says this, is the end of February.
And it's nice and chilly still.
When it's raining.
We did actually have the hottest day of the year this week, didn't we? 18
yeah,
degrees.
and do you know what I was doing? Burning things at the allotment. I was boiling hot. I hated it.
Anyway, Mel's in the cafe and he compliments Bernie on her hair and goes and let himself upstairs. He's just being that slightly creepily over-familiar with her, and she's like, back off, man. I'm not interested, okay? He comes back down later. It looks like Roy's flat is completely re-electro-wired or whatever he's been doing there. Mm-hmm. Roy's off to the bank to get him some money, so Mel says, I'm just going to loiter around here, very creepily, getting in Bernie's personal space. He's either not getting the message or he's willfully ignoring it. And I think there definitely is an element of... misunderstanding from him, and I don't want to be... No. He thinks from Jodie that she's into him, doesn't he? And some people just can't pick up on vibes. But
I don't know. This feels quite malicious.
Mal, it's just so easy.
I am
isn't it?
picking the words on purpose.
So he's just kind of loitering around the counter later, and he's kind of saying, "Oh, I'd love to meet the quads."
What goes through a man's head that does this? I don't know about women, but men do this, where they seem to think that they can, like, intimidate you or will misunderstand, like deliberately misunderstand what you're saying.
I think he's just
and it might
really
trick you.
hoping that if he just keeps on trying, that she's going to go, "Oh, all right."
Do they think that the woman's going to go, "Oh man, I forgot. Do I like this guy or not? I can't remember. I must like him because he keeps being around me." He
kind of eventually gets the message.
Has it ever worked?
What?
Has this ever worked?
Loitering with intent.
Mind you, you do hear the stories, don't you? And like sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, celebrity romance story. What happened? Oh, he just kept asking me out on a date, and eventually I said yes." It's like, you're the reason that all these men keep doing this.
Yeah, why these pesterers keep on. Well, eventually, he slopes off to the door. But
and me, of course. I'm complicit too.
You are. Then he locks it, and he's starting to look proper desperate now. He's like, "Oh, I'm so glad to have you all to myself. I got so many feelings for you. We even kissed once." And he's like, I didn't kiss you back." This is why I'm kind of thinking that he's still, in his head, he's painted a different picture here. He's built up this romance. He's clearly bonkers for her. And I think he does think that those feelings are there just a little bit locked away in her head, and he needs to just turn the key and then they'll all come flooding out.
Well, this is like layers of like...
He says, "Look, we kissed. I counted 4 Mississippis before you pulled away. You're a force of nature. You're a magnificent woman." He's still not being cruel, and he gets there in the week, don't get me wrong, but
he's being creepy.
He's being, as an outsider, yes, he's being clearly being creepy, but I don't think he's desperately he wants her, and I don't think he realizes necessarily at this point that he's being creepy. He's just being really, really desperately in his head romantic to this woman. But eventually she says, this is never going to happen. She makes it clear to him. She pushes him away.
Clear.
And this is when the switch happens, isn't it? This is when he goes, you greasy little tart, you massive tease. He gets right up in her face and he's getting
What's
very,
he
very
do?
intense.
What do you think he would have done?
And I think, with some people, when they can't, quite connect all the dots in their head, which is, I think, what was happening with Mel here, then when somebody kind of just pours cold water over it, it's inside, something snaps, doesn't it? And he's like, "Oh, how dare you... I think that he thinks that she was leading him on a little bit, and he's been kind of... he's got egg on his face now, and his reaction to this is immediately offensive. And saying, "Oh yeah, it's your fault. You've been doing this. You've been teasing me. You greasy little tart." It was I really love this scene just because of the switch. He's clearly a little bit mentally maladjusted, as you said.
I don't know. I think that there are lots of guys like this.
I know
they read into something. They get mixed messages. They don't. Well, not that they interpret things completely differently to how you would. Like, men and women interpret things very differently sometimes, and it causes conflict like this. Like, I remember when I was a cleaner at university, one of the other cleaners came to cover somebody else, and he worked at Winchester School of Art, and he came down and he was talking, chatting as like normal, and he said the weirdest thing to me. He said, "Oh yeah, they're always doing crazy stuff. All these students are always doing weird stuff up there. Like, there was this woman who was her art was she walked around naked." And I was like, "That's weird." And he goes, "Yeah, but you know what? You couldn't touch her."
What?
And he was really disgusted and like annoyed. And I was like, "Why would you jump to? Well, if she's naked, that must mean I'm allowed to touch her." Like, he literally could not, in his head, understand that there was a boundary, despite the fact she didn't have clothes on.
It's clearly massively creepy behaviour, but I do think that he's just like so super embarrassed at this point. He really did think that she was leading him on, and now she's cut him loose, and his immediate reaction is you bet
aggressive.
You can.
But this is what men are like, though. If you
because he
them.
Thinks that he's lost face.
This is why this is why some of the mixed messages exist in the first place, because women are scared to say no directly, because this is what happens when you do. She tells him no.
Well, Bernie's also, you know, up until this point, Bernie's been like reluctant to outright kind of say, sod off, I'm not interested in you, because she doesn't want to get him back to Dev about what happened, does she? But this has clearly got so a little bit over the lines for her, so she's got no choice. But anyway,
also as women, I think Bernie is one of the women that doesn't buy into this, but we get told to be nice all the time and not hurt anyone's feelings. And so lots of women are like, you know, oh no, haha, you know. Number one, because we're scared. And number two, because we're told not to upset people.
Anyway, Kits turns up, smells a rat, and then Mal takes a chance to escape. So, Bernie ends up going to the pub. She's clearly totally freaked out by what happened here, and she
does not want to be alone.
No, she doesn't, with Dev in the Cotswolds. So she goes home, and this is a great end to Monday's episode. She's there in the darkened house, and then she sees this wedding picture of her and Deb with her face cut out, and she's like, bloody Nora, what's going on? Is he in the house with me here? That was a really fun, creepy... Is he actually going to jump out and attack her? I was on the edge of my seat, and then just that little bit disappointed when she got out, and that was the end of the episode.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, what's he done with the face?
Because up until that scene in the cafe earlier, we hadn't seen that really intense side of Mal. And because this came so soon after that, I was like, go on, Bennett, he's not somebody you want to cross. This could be quite exciting. And we didn't get it, and then obviously it turned out that it wasn't him at the end of the day. But yeah, props to the organisation of that episode finale.
Do you think that if it was Mal, he would have cut Dev's face out rather than Bernie's?
Possibly, but you know, he had just been spurned by her, so it makes sense to think
it's very violent.
He wants to take out his aggression on her. Well, yeah, people do this, don't they? It's like, you know, they get your black marker out and scribble all over people's faces.
Do they do that, or is it just that you're talking about watching it on television?
This does happen on TV. I don't know. I'm not sure of anything.
You're not drawing on your personal experience, how are you?
No. Right, Tuesday comes along then. Bernie stayed at number 5 overnight because Ches needs his episode count upped a little bit. She's told him that she's got pigeons in the attic, so that's her excuse for why she can't stay next door anymore. So Mal pounces up on Bernie in Victoria Gardens, and she's like, did you do this? She's got the photo there with her, and he's like, no, you're breaking my heart, Bernie. And a tiny bit of me does feel a bit sorry for Mal here, because he's like,
we're like,
what on earth? No, I haven't done that.
That's psycho behaviour.
I never broke into your place. What on earth? And she says, you make me want to vomit and boil my flaming head. And Mal is... This is why I'm saying he's not 100% pure evil. His heart has been broken. His heart is not quite right, and his brain's not quite in the right place either. His brain and his heart just a little bit out of whack. But he is proper gutted here.
Who are you trying to appeal to here?
I don't know.
This is normally what I'm like.
The Mal and Bernie stands out.
It's because I'm a Libra. I have to bring balance to everything. I have to be contrary.
But yeah, he's really gutted by this, and he's like, "You're
Michael,
a cold-hearted bitch."
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm so sad, you bitch. How can you feel bad for him? He immediately flips.
Yeah, he does, and she tells him to bog off back to Inverness, which I didn't realise that's where I was from. But...
So,
I'm always looking for the good side on the evil characters. It's because I want my villains to be layered, Gemma.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we're still... Like, the origin of this story...
Would you kill Mal as a baby? If you could go back in time.
I could go back in time and you had Mal and Hitler as babies. What if they became friends and then they never went on to do anything bad because they had the power of friendship to unite them?
Exactly.
I think about that a bit.
So we're taking Mal back in our time machine with us.
To Germany? No.
We're going back in time 50 odd years, picking up a young Mal, then saying, come with me in the TARDIS.
But what if
this
Hitler...
is this Doctor Who crossover again, isn't it?
What if Hitler was raised in Inverness? Would he be worse or better? Don't know. No, I was just saying, the origin of this story is that Roy was writing to Alice, who is a real person or not,
I don't know.
Her son, I think we've established, have we?
Their son is definitely in prison because Mel's mentioned that since
But
he's
in
been
the
in
letter
show.
it said, I'm in prison at the moment. I might stop by at your cafe to see. Wasn't that right?
There were various.
So
letters.
what's happened to Alice now? Is she just like, oh?
I mean, the fact that we have seen that Mal is definitely, and I can't help saying the word maladjusted, does give more credence to the theory that he was pretending to be Alice all along, and we've got a little bit of a Norman Bates' mum situation going on here. But he did genuinely seem really mad at Roy. I mean, he punched Roy in the face for supposedly having a text message conversation with his wife, where if he had been Alice all along. Exactly. But he's clearly not got pure love for Alice, if she exists, because he's all randy for Bernie.
Do you think we're going to find out that Alice is dead and he killed her?
I don't want him to be a murderer.
But not
everyone has to be a murderer.
But it's fun. It would be a bit of a janky story, although I would still like it, because how did he... it wouldn't make any sense, but they should do it anyway, because why not?
Why not? If you're going to have him...
Because his
motivation... Norman Bates with a drill. Is that what electricians use? I don't know. Norman Bates with a battery tester.
Yeah, that's what they do. They're like, why would you plug anything in? You can just use batteries.
Norman Bates with a little piece of... one of those little things that you can strip the ends of the wire with, the wire strippers, yeah.
Right, Michael, okay. So his motivation is his wife was writing to somebody who then she grew a romantic attachment to. He found out that he read the letter because he saw him in his house watching TV with his letter.
No, it was a text message.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. And then he came all the way from Inverness to Weatherfield
to punch Roy.
Punch Roy, and then he... What happened then? Then he was like, oh, guess what? I don't need to go back to Inverness.
Then he went off with Bernie to have his druggy party, didn't he?
Yeah, then he took drugs and partied with Bernie. And then the next day, he got a job. But why did he take a job in Weatherfield if he's got a house? Where's he staying?
Well, we know
How is he supporting himself? We know what?
We know that he stayed there for Bernie.
Yeah, we know.
I assume that he's staying at Chariot Square.
But how did he...
Does.
Okay, I'm just pointing out. I'm just trying to track. Is this a credible... human being with a story that makes sense, or is this just is this just some kind of is he just a plot device that's gonna
this is why I hope that he's not dead, because Mel.
Okay.
Because I am genuinely very, very intrigued in his backstory, and I think the actor's doing a cracking job, and I want him to stay in the show a little bit longer. I
want Alice to come to the cafe and slap Roy around the face and accuse him of beating up Mal. And then I want them to...
reply to my last text message.
Then I want there to be a gap of exactly the same amount of time. And then I want the son to come and slap Roy around the face. So everybody in the Roper family gets to slap Roy once.
Do you think that Roy would have tried texting Alice again?
Also...
It's like saying... Sorry, I hope you don't mind. Your husband is staying here for a little while.
Yeah, don't worry about him. Also, why has he just stopped talking to her?
Well, the punch around the face might knock a bit of...
But does Roy not respect her autonomy and agency as a woman to decide to write to who she wants?
I don't know. But I hope we get to find out that soon, because the longer it's being dragged out, a little bit like what we were saying with the Maggie mystery, the more incredible it's turning out to be. But anyway, I'm still very much enjoying this. So what do we have? We got Tracy telling Tracy tells Roy, I think, that Ken wants some wiring done as well. Would he recommend Mal? Oh, yes, of course, says Roy. But Bernie's like, no, I don't think so. I've just got a bad feeling about him. I don't think you should keep him around the street any longer. At the end of the episode, we see Bernie putting a newly printed out picture back in the frame so Dev doesn't find out when he comes back. Was it Wednesday that he came back? No, Thursday, I think. No? Wednesday. He does come back Wednesday, doesn't he? Beginning of the episode, Bernie is wielding a golf club as she answers the front door, because who could it be? It's Kit. He wants to know what's going on because he's seen that she's been a little bit out of sorts recently. She's like, no, nothing's going on. But of course, he is a professional interrogator, so
stood no chance.
No, next scene, she's spilled the beans about everything, and this is where the seeds were sown for what's Kit going to do, because we know what he's like. He should have his badge taken from him.
No,
those lapels should be torn from his shoulders. Not that he wears uniform. He should have that world's best policeman mug smashed on the ground ceremoniously.
Yeah.
Because he is a terrible policeman. He's a horrible person.
He's
he's hit someone round the head. Why are people still saying Kit's a great character?
'Cause it's funny.
He's a horrible man. He's
violence
dark
is funny,
and he's
doing it for his mum.
Untrustworthy.
You just don't love your mum enough.
And he's devious. Lou has ended up being imprisoned for doing exactly the same as Kit. And Kit's just walking around cock of the walk going, hey, I'm a main character, they're not sending me to prison. No, send Kit to prison.
Threatened Gary's masculinity, so she had to go to prison, didn't she?
I think this is sexist that Lou was sent to prison. Do you think that...
Women can't do violence.
I don't know...
What would happen next if women started hitting men? The world would be in complete disarray, Michael.
I know that we're jumping the gun a little bit here, but do you think that there's going to be any kind of comeback? Is Kit going to be found out about this?
Away with it.
Or is he going to get away with
things.
it again?
He's done much higher stakes things than this. Why would this be what brought him down?
Nobody stays in that show forever unless you are Rita and
Michael.
Ken. And when he gets his exit storyline, I am going to watch with glee as his many crimes all brought against him.
No.
And then he gets thrown in the slammer and the key gets chucked down the toilet.
I've been trying to say this for the past 5 minutes, but you haven't let me.
I'm getting on a rant about Kit, honestly.
When you have a police drama like Coronation Street, you've got to have a few bent coppers just to make it more exciting. If everyone's a good police officer,
you've got to have a Burnside, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got to have a D.I. Burnside. I just...
Who's
He's the bigger creep, not Mal, it's Kit.
Who's going to be Browning? He's new.
Do all of the police officers, apart from Swain, have to have a colour in their name?
I don't know. Browning's like... Oh God, I'm so excited! I got promoted, and his wife's like, "Is that the place where every so often a new policeman goes, and then they just die?"
Yeah, this would have been the perfect opportunity. Seriously, why Corrie to bring back Abney, to bring back
I know.
What's her face, McKinnon?
Yes.
I would flippin' love McKinnon to be there, saying, "I bloody got you, Kit. I've been in the shadows all this time. It looks like I've been on desk duty for the past 3 years, so I'm going to take you down because I'm a copper with integrity and I know you're bent."
And you complaining that
like,
there's too many police
McKinnon.
officers in it, but now you're offering up to
McKinnon,
more to come.
I would have her back in a heartbeat. I think she's great. But I just want to see Kit get taken down.
Why?
I don't like the idea.
But he's a great character.
No.
I love him.
Look, we're never going to agree on this.
What do you think about Gary then? Because Gary and Kit are very similar. Do you not think? They're both violent and they do stuff and they get away with it all the time.
Gary's more of a nice guy that just accidentally dropped a roof on Rana's head.
And then he accidentally killed Rick Neelan because it was self-defense.
Gary,
and then he became a misogynist very briefly. But then I guess he watched like Little Women and got over it.
Gary is mostly a nice guy, and he's grown up. He's escaped the clutches of his wayward family, the Windasses, and he's gone on to become a somewhat respectable businessman, and he's got a lovely rose gold flat with his beautiful wife Maria and very dodgy adopted son Jake. No, actual son Jake. Yeah, real son Jake, who occasionally gets himself into a spot of bother and fights. Kit.
Yeah, tell me more.
Kit, I think he goes around looking for bloody dodgy things to do, and he's got no qualms about it. It's like with Megan. She's in a position of responsibility, so when she's there bonking her children, that's bad.
That is Kit. Bad. Yeah, I can get behind that.
Kit is an officer of the law.
You can quote us on that one.
And
yeah, he's the officer of the law.
And so I don't want.
But it's funny. Does anybody else like Kit as much as I do?
Everybody likes Kit as much as you do, apart from me.
He's so
It just
tall.
really winds me up. Right, what's going on? Oh, sorry, we're only on Wednesday. We're only on the first.
We're only on the first story of Wednesday.
So we got steak for tea tonight as well. I should be hurrying this up. I'm really looking forward to that. Mal comes in.
I've got to replace the iron for Michael's paw.
From my horrible, with all the blood that they took out of me today. Mal comes into the cafe and he's spitting bile about Bernie, broadcasting to all and sundry about this drugged up night that they had in the hotel.
Cat's out of the bag.
And yeah, absolutely. Dev's going to have to find out about this now. Roy orders him out. He's telling Bernie that she's rattled the wrong cage. So yeah, good old Roy for chucking him out. Bernie goes back home later. Kit comes along and he's heard all about what's happened over at Roy's. And she says, look, I'm going to have to tell Dev about this before Mal can. Speaking of which, hey everybody, we're back from the Cotswolds. It's Dev and Asher. And she immediately says to him, look, gotta fess up. I was with a fella that night after Billy's funeral.
Remember
he
took
kissed
drugs?
me before Mississippi's. And Dev's like, yeah, whatever, babe. What are you talking about? And then he realises that she's not joking. You what?
Oh, no.
No way. He's not happy one little bit. We get to see angry Dev, which I always enjoy.
Oh, no, I'm scared of angry
Fuming,
Dev.
spitting feathers, Dev. And he's like, you've been keeping the truth from me all this time. She's like, no, there's more. Mal's been stalkerish to me the last couple of weeks or so. Look at this photo. I think this is him. And Dev is totally fuming about this. He's very, very upset. He leaves the house. Totally understandable reaction from Dev, I'm going to say, because he's always like, it's a bit like Kevin with Abby, isn't it? Like, I've married you. I thought I could change you. I thought that we'd put your dodgy past to bed by marrying an upstanding member of the community, an honourable businessman. And Abby, you're falling off the wagon again. Bernie, you've done something to disappoint me again. Unfortunately, Dev did know what he was getting into when he married Bernie. But he has got every right to be pretty mad about her for this, about keeping you. If I'd done something like that to you, you wouldn't let me hear the end of it, would you?
I'd be very shocked.
It'd take more than just a couple of episodes, like it has done for Dev. I can't actually remember which day we found out that it was Jodie with a photo, but I think I must have written about that in the Jodie storyline. But by this point, we know that Jodie was the one that got this photo. Anyway, we get this late night confrontation with Mal, and he's kind of humming Bernie as she walks to the corner shop after dark. And he's like, oh, Paul and Billy, they'd be so disappointed in you. You cow or whatever, you slap her. And she says that if you kill me, Nick, if you come near me again, I'm going to bloody kill you, Mal, on your bike. And Mal smirks and says, I'm going nowhere. I'll see you tomorrow. And we were like, no, Mal's not going to be killed. He's not one of the five.
We were like, one thing I can be totally sure of, Mal is safe.
And this is why you can't take anything that we say for 100% truth. However confidently we say it, sometimes we will broadcast on a street talk short utter rubbish that is completely disproven the next day. But
unfortunately,
you can't get them all right all the time,
the things we actually know, we're not allowed to say.
We don't know much.
We know enough.
I don't think we know very much at all about what's happening.
Not allowed to say anything.
Upcoming Coronation Street.
Even if I knew.
The other people don't know that is. So, Thursday, you got Asher heading off to work again. Bernie's trying to make small talk to Dev, but he is still not in the slightest bit in the mood to talk to her. And she says, look, Dev, darling, don't bottle up your feelings. Just say what you need to say to me. We need to be honest with each other. Honesty? Ha ha! Says Dev. You were hardly honest with me after your night with Mal, so don't you lecture me about being honest and telling you what I feel. When I'm ready, I will. What other little secrets have you got? Nothing, she promises, but he is not backing down on this, and I don't blame him.
What do you think he's brought back from the Cotswolds? What's a good souvenir?
Fudge, I'm going to say.
I think it's fudge anywhere. Your granddad lived in the Cotswolds, didn't he?
Yes. I don't know. Cotswolds is totally a fudgy sort of place, isn't it?
I mean, all I remember from going to visit him was chickens.
From visiting my granddad?
Chickens. Yeah.
No, you get just like crafts, don't you? Little wooden knickknacks.
Bernie, I whittled you a stick in the Cotswolds.
Cotswolds is lovely. I highly recommend it.
I think it's overrated.
Do you remember that we went on that trip to Manchester once? We stayed in the Cotswolds on the way. In a little
we
barn.
didn't really stay in the Cotswolds, did we?
I thought we did.
It wasn't.
Anyway,
wow.
This is where the police station scenes for the week start ramping up, and my interest rapidly started declining.
All I'm saying, if you like the Cotswolds, you'll love the New Forest, and it's roomier. And we've got witches.
Come say hello to us on the way.
Got witches here. And snake charmers.
Lisa gives Kit a file in the police station about a man who was found attacked last night. And Kit opens up the file and is like, oh. This is when it's straight away like a case of,
no, I was like,
he's done something wrong here.
I was so dumb watching this. I was like, who cares about this file?
And it turns out it was Mel.
It's just a random man. Oh, it's somebody we know. I didn't see that coming. No, I genuinely didn't. I was like, oh, whatever. They're always talking about stupid, boring crimes that don't.
I know. Bernie's getting ready to go to work later. She still hasn't resolved things with Dev. She's got her cases as well. She says, look, I'm going to give you a bit of space. And he's like, oh, you're running away again. Kit gets to the hospital. There's a nurse or whatever telling him about this victim. It is Mel. It's revealed that he has been hit over the head. He's in ICU, so he's not doing very well at all. He's not going to be springing out of bed and skipping down the street anytime soon. He's in a critical condition.
What's actually happened to him is that he was hit over the head and then he had a heart attack.
Yes, you're right. He had bad heart
So
problem.
that's why he's in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so
Kit broke his head, Bernie broke his heart.
Oh, man.
He was probably fine before she started.
Yeah, he was totally fine. He should stop with Alice.
Playing games with his heart. Poor old Mal.
Beautiful song. And advice for life as well, that.
Yes. So Deb comes into the cafe later and Bernie says, look, let's just get away from here. No, what did she say? No, she says, I need to get away from here, sorry. Bernie... And he says, no, Bernie, babe, I need you. You just needed space to grieve after Billy. Let's have a hug. I've
got an idea, right? Why do we stop taking holidays separately and go on holiday together?
What a genius idea.
Bloody hell, man.
Maybe, talk about the honeymoon period's finished. It's literally still not started for them.
This is the perils of owning a small business.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, good old Dev. I love
Dev.
Very forgiving.
I know.
He's got a good he held a grudge against Ardy for a little bit longer than this.
He just hates his children.
Yeah. Kit meets Lisa in the street later. She says one of our colleagues, Browning, this guy, has had a breakthrough on the Mal case. And he comes into the cafe, does Browning, wanting to arrest Bernie on suspicion of assault. And that makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Calm down, who are you trying to impress?
She threatened, to do away with Mal. Someone overheard.
I know, I've forgotten who it was.
I didn't think there was actually anybody there.
No, there was somebody there. What day was it? It was Wednesday.
End of Thursday's episode.
End of Thursday.
Anyway, Bernie's in the prison cell on Friday morning.
Wasn't there? Didn't we go through this case that happened here where somebody encouraged somebody else to beat somebody up, and then they did, and then the person died, and then that person who encouraged the person to beat them up got in trouble, basically for murder, the same as they did. So you can't go around shouting, just kill people.
So lots of people, me included, not Gemma, left Thursday's episode very much convinced that Kit was the one behind this attack because he's a wrong.
No, I worked it out. I did say to you, do you think maybe? And you're like, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Kit's been taken off the case, of course, because he can't investigate his own mum, but he can still twist somebody's arm to get in to see her in the cell. Look,
DC Green, you can't investigate. You can commit as many crimes as you want, but you can't investigate your own mum. Okay, we've got standards here.
Yeah, they do everything by the book at Weatherfield Police Station, don't they? Anyway, she says, look, I've got no alibi, but I really didn't do it. And he's nodding there nervously, clearly like, I know you didn't, it was me. Number 7, Gemma's kind of voicing her fears a little bit about maybe Bernie did do this. And Dev says, no way, she wouldn't do that. And then Gemma is very quickly convinced, so that was a bit of drama for drama's sake there. Bethany's telling Bethany and Jodie about it. Bernie's defo innocent in the cafe later. Interesting that Jodie was there, considering her link with the photo. I still don't know whether she and Mal have got a bit more of a past than Corrie's wanting to let on at the moment. Bernie gets her interview later. Browning says, look, a witness saw you in an angry confrontation between you and Mal last night, 2 nights ago. Did you assault him? And she's like, I honestly didn't touch him. I went to the shop, got some drink. That was it. I had met Mal a couple of weeks ago. He went a bit stalkery on me. But I didn't do it. I didn't hit him around the head. Innocent, governor. Nobody saw me in the shop. So I guess I got no alibi. And then this is when we finally get to find out that yes, it was indeed Kit who did it. He confesses to Sarah Louise, and she's like, well, you need to go and turn yourself in then. Look, Kit is just scum. He's as bad as Carl. Carl is letting his own mother/sister rot in that jail because he's too much of a wimp to fess up for what he has done wrong here. Kit would have happily seen his mum be sent down. I know he said, oh, but there's no evidence to say it. We've seen from Roy that Weatherfield Police Station does not need evidence to send somebody down. And at what point would Kit have said, oh, yeah, maybe I should confess? At no point. That's exactly when point. He is absolute scum. Anyway.
I'm just watching the confrontation between Mal and Bernie, and there's like three extras that have walked past so far.
Oh, okay. So it was not a main character that dobbed her.
I thought it was Jodie for some reason, but
anyway, well, I mean, there was quite close to number 8, wasn't it?
It's standing outside.
She could have been there listening in.
Oh, there's somebody else there. Oh, there's a random lady.
Random lady walks past. There we go. Anyway, Bernie, luckily for her, gets let out because there is CCTV evidence that she was in the shop. I don't know why she didn't think of that earlier, particularly when she said, no, I've got no alibi that I went into the shop. You'd have thought that as a worker of DNA and Alahans, she'd say, check the CCTV. But, it's a stressful situation for her. Maybe didn't come to her straight away. She's let out, luckily for Kit, because he was... Okay, maybe I was a bit harsh on him earlier. No, I wasn't. He was going to confess, but only because Sarah Louise told him to. He wouldn't have done it otherwise. And would he have actually confessed? Or would he have started saying it and then backed away? I
love how Sarah's like, look, I know I've hitched myself to a bent copper, but you're going a bit far here now. She doesn't care that he beat somebody up. She cares that he's letting his mum take the fall for it.
I know.
She doesn't say anything about like the morality of beating somebody up. She's like, oh, what about your mum?
The thing is, knowing the kind of men that Sarah has been with in the past, I think she just thinks that, man, therefore punches.
Yeah, man punches, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
woman
just
has
the way
nice
of life,
hair.
Isn't
That's
it?
what I provide.
Anyway, Bernie gets home to a big hug from Dev later, and she says to him, what were you going to talk to Browning about earlier? And he is quite evasive about that because, yet again, Kit's got away with doing something a little bit naughty and bent.
Hooray!
But I don't think there's going to be any evidence against him. He's clearly got no reason to confess.
Himself.
He's now investigating himself. Yeah, he's back on the case again. So he's just going to have to end up closing the case. I mean, I suppose the question is, did Mal see who was sneaking up on him? Probably not, because Kit knows what he's doing here. So I think, it's going to be another, oh well, what can you do? But you never know. Maybe Liam has got drone footage of it happening. Watch this space.
Kevin will be
Carla's wedding.
I deleted it by accident. I can't believe it. How does this happen?
Right, that's enough of that.
Do you think that Kevin just gives off this magnetic field of like negative energy?
He does.
That totally. Like wipes computers.
That's enough of that. I was enjoying it more before the police got involved, I'm going to say. I much preferred Mal as a conscious character than somebody in ICU. So I'm going to send him all my best wishes and a bunch of grapes, and hopefully he'll be able to be up in no time and being threatening and creepy again, because I very much enjoy him losing his rag.
Do you think that Kit would kill him in hospital? Smother him with a pillow.
Literally just
a classic move, that, isn't it?
Becky storyline again, isn't it? Literally the Becky storyline. She got Costello run over. She went in there. She was about to inject him with something and then didn't. It's like, original.
Do you think that, please. Like, what is it, the professional standards? Because can't calm down everybody. Lisa has been cleared by professional standards, hasn't she? She's back on the case. She's gonna nab the bad guy, she says. But do you think there's like the professional standards person when Lisa goes out the door, sit to each other and say, I think that course on how to be a bent copper is actually contributing to the number of bent coppers we've got. Because we keep telling them like how to get away with crimes and what to do and how we're not going to investigate them.
Yeah.
And when we turn around, they start doing it.
Well, that was when Costello was in charge, wasn't it? He was probably a mandatory training for all of his troops. How to get away with murder.
Or one of them goes to the other one, hey, Janice, bloody hell, I hope they don't start investigating me.
Do you think that Craig was like a protege of Costello and that's why he always used to
Come here.
not
tell you
keep
about the
anything
crimes I've
secret? Right, anyway, that's enough of that. Let's go back to Jodie, who was also somewhat involved in this, but not too much. And I was very glad that the storylines didn't cross over too much because we can keep them very separate here. Her main crime at the moment is still trying to get in between the golden couple that is David and Shona, isn't it? So
Such a tart.
let's reminisce about the twisted sister and what she's been up to this week.
What's happened to their dad? No one cares about old daddy.
Well, Shona was going to go and visit him again last week, wasn't she? And then Jodie was like, oh, I don't think you should. But yeah, I was super intrigued by old Mr. Ramsey. Old man Ramsey.
Seavers.
And I hope it's not going to be too long before we get to see him again.
Right, so Shona's telling Jodie that she should stop sleeping with Weatherfield bike Carl. And Jodie's like not interested in this, but she is she's like, yeah, maybe I don't really see us together, but Carl comes into the cafe later and
she's texted
she's
Carl,
like, oh
hasn't
yeah, we're off. And so he comes into the cafe and says, how come you're blowing me off? But it seems like maybe they are still together and it's all just
I don't really know. It's because I don't think they particularly revisited that later in the week. I mean, Shona has clearly got her sights set on David.
Jodie has.
Jodie, sorry, has clearly got. What did I say?
Shona, I think you said.
Still got her sights set on David. So, and unless she like Carl is a what did you say? It? Free spirit, hedonist. I don't know, and is just up for it with anybody. Why would she be interested in stringing him along when
swinging hips with him?
And she's got a pure prime cut of David meat back at home that she needs to hone in on.
Jodie. Then we get Jodie walking down Rosamond Street and someone's following her, but I don't know who it was.
That was Olivia. We later find out,
Oh.
but it did add a nice little bit of mystery to the whole. Is it Mal? When we found out that she put the photo, she's cut the photo. It's like, oh, okay, so was somebody. Yeah, I appreciated that.
But also, Brian's searching for his book that's stolen, and we have realised now that it probably was actually not Lily, but Jodie.
Well, it might have been.
Could have been anyone.
I haven't actually rewatched the scene again. I mean, it clearly wasn't Hope, was it? Which is who Brian accused it of being. But it looked like a younger girl's legs. Because Lily's kind of being a little protege of Jodie at the moment, isn't she? Jodie's a little bit of an idol for Lily.
I'm not invested in this enough to
I'm
like
in no way invested about what's happened with Brian's book.
And investigate legs.
I don't care whatsoever.
You might be surprised to realise that actually the legs are the least videoed of all the parts of a Coronation Street character.
Unless it's somebody, sometimes if it's a character that's returning to the street and the taxi pulls out, you see the feet, you see
especially
the legs, and
if
it's like,
it's a lady with high heels.
It's Liz,
because they were waiting for her to fall over on the cobbles. Gemma and Mary talk about someone nicking it out of spite, so he goes and accuses Hope, and she denies it.
Why doesn't he automatically think, oh, it's Lily?
Oh, it's that.
Because Lily was clearly the cowiest of the two girls last week. She was the one that shoved the papers in the bin. She was the one who, when Jodie brought her around to apologise, she did the complete opposite and called Brian I can't remember what.
Maybe it was...
Why is he not...
Maybe it was a communist.
What?
There's no ethical consumption under capitalism. Maybe they're trying to teach him a lesson about coveting material goods.
I don't think
when he should be like donating it to charity or something.
I just think it was a clunky, clumsy little bit for this story for him to immediately say, oh, it's got to be Hope, and if it's not Hope, well, I just don't know.
Who's the most communist character? Spider. Do you think Spider's back and he's stealing people's
I think it's Daniel.
First
He's got kleptomania for literature, hasn't he?
Oh, I love books. I love the smell of books.
If I hear the smell of a book, I
get
just
off on it.
can't help but take it.
Right, Tuesday, family bliss at the Platts. Although Shona and David are swapping over, going to see the baby.
You can tell that I'm not a parent because
Oh,
I'm
no,
watching some of these scenes and
Don't even say
going,
this. What are you going to say?
can't they just... What do they do?
I knew you were going to say
Can't they
that.
just leave her?
Well, when Abby's in vets, we don't visit her every day. It's ridiculous.
No, that's exactly it. Abby goes to the vets.
We say we
don't
trust
rarely...
you. Professionalism.
Yeah, I don't need to be sitting by her cage 24 hours a day.
You are... There's no need to say this. There's no need to say this.
It's not like, if you got a grown relative and are at hospital, yeah, you go and visit them, have a conversation with them. You don't want them to be bored, but Harper doesn't know what's going on.
I'm not even saying a word.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm not a parent.
I wonder if this will stay in.
Sorry, I know it's terrible of me. They're very good parents.
They're great.
I'm sure that in their position, I would do the same.
You would miss the baby.
But from a complete outsider's point of view,
baby.
What are either of them getting out of
Oh
it?
my God.
Sorry.
Yeah, this
Come
is
on.
why we don't
If
have
I didn't
kids.
have any support for my slandering of Rita last week, at least somebody this week, can you say, yeah, Michael, you're right.
Who's going to write
Why
in?
do that?
Who is going to write in and go, yeah, I agree with you about neglecting babies in hospital?
Oh, maybe it isn't. But it's not neglect because there's doctors there looking after her. I think that they just need to send Audrey to the hospital to look after her.
They could have just said, where's Audrey?
No
She's
use
at
for
the
ornaments
hospital.
at the Platts at the...
She's at the hospital.
At the hospital again. She really, really loves Harper.
Imagine if you were in charge of writing Coronation Street and you just wouldn't write anybody going to visit this poor baby who's, in dire straits in the hospital, all alone in a plastic incubator, sad and cold.
Next week's her operation, isn't it? Go along for that.
No, don't bother. It'll either go well, in which case no point, or go badly, in which case no point.
Oh dear.
It's 50-50.
I know I'm being very silly about this, but I think there's just been an awful lot of lines, an awful lot of airtime taken up from the already reduced Coronation Street hours from the 3 hours that we got last year. Lots of lines being, where's so-and-so? Oh, they're at the hospital. Or, I've just come back from the hospital. I'm knackered. So-and-so, you're late for going to the hospital.
Yes. And
that's why it's
I said this
irking
on
me
the
somewhat.
on the shorts. I'm still struggling with this daily 22 minutes of Corrie. I feel like we're wasting time in an already very time poor slot of establishing what's happening because you just got to.
Some weeks
Where are you?
better than others.
I've just come from the hospital. I don't care.
Some weeks are better than
I'll
others.
just assume.
I'm still loving that it's
Mind
every
you,
day.
I've also seen people going, oh, why aren't they doing this and why aren't they doing that? When they clearly, it's like they don't say it every episode. But if they don't say it every episode, people are like, oh, well, can't believe it.
No, I think this week just felt a bit slow. But other weeks have been fine, so...
Yeah,
Can't win them all.
Don't waste people's time going to hospitals to visit your sick baby.
Yeah. Are we wasting
It's
time?
just a waste of
Are
time.
we wasting people's time who are listening to the podcast by going off topic and ranting? Or is that what they
pay
listen for? Right, go on, sorry, back to you.
Tell you what, it's cheaper than parking at the hospital.
Oh, we had dog poo gate on Tuesday, didn't we? That's how we know Jodie's really a villain. She's just leaving a dog poo on the pavement.
Disgusting animal.
The real crime
I'm not
of
talking
this,
about David.
The real crime of this was that Ken wasn't brought out to say, it's a big pile of poo! And that's for the long term. Well, not long term. How long ago was it since Ken said a big pile of poo? 7, 8 years? Don't remember. That was Claudia, wasn't it?
Look it up.
I want to find a clip of that.
Right,
my favourite Ken quote. Never mind, the many 65 years worth of Ken gold that we've had. It's a big pile of poo.
Deirdre's quote is do something Ken, and Ken's quote is big pile of poo.
Well, it was Steve that ended up standing in it, I think, in the end, wasn't
We don't
it?
look. So move on from that. Okay, so Jodie and Lily are walking doggy David, and somebody's spying on her, and Lily buggers off.
They've got a locket, haven't they?
They've got this locket,
which looks quite familiar.
I love Toya. Toya is such a bloody buzzkill, isn't she? I know that she's like the opposite of Kit. Kit is like this fun, like chaotic, evil character who goes around and does everything possibly that's wrong. And Toya is like, you can't leave a poo on the floor. Children might lick it and die.
Can you imagine in the writer's room saying, well, we're going to have somebody tell Jodie off for not picking up the poo. Who's the most buzzkill, square, joyless member of the street?
Who's the most lawful?
Can't have it be Norris. Back in the day, it probably would have been Norris. Like, who's next? Like, Toya. And not only does she tell Jodie to pick it up, but she also gives her a handkerchief from her own pocket to do it with. Like, why are you're like, what, 2 years older than me? Why are you a 40-year-old woman with a handkerchief? I know. That's the thing that old ladies have.
What did Emily Bishop bequeath them to in her will or something? She's just like, I've been trying to.
Emily is still very much alive.
Oh, that's true.
And sending religious memes to each other.
That's true. You're right. Yeah.
Did you see the thing in the news this week about in New York? I think it is, the snow's melting and there's just dog poos all over the street.
Toya be there like going, I don't have the handkerchiefs to this. This is ridiculous. Obviously, you should pick up after your dog. This is why I don't have a dog, because I find it a bit gross. The worst thing is when you've got the little bag and it's warm.
Have never in my life picked up a dog poo.
Actually, it's making me.
And I don't intend to, but I don't mind too much about.
Oh, I think I might have made you pick one up once.
I don't think you did.
Well, you pick up all the cat poo.
I do, yeah, but not. We have a scoop for that. Don't we?
Yeah, but what would you... Yeah, you can't
Did you notice that I did the cat tray yesterday?
Yes, because it stank.
Gemma has been talking for me for quite a while about doing
it. Was eye-watering.
She mostly goes outside.
I'm not interested
Nobody
in
picks
any
it
of
up.
this.
That's why cats are better than dogs, because they cover up their own mess themselves.
How many times I've read on Nextdoor and Facebook, people going, there's a cat that poos in my garden. And I'm like, God, it's probably...
That's why cats are better than dogs, because they poo in someone else's garden and I don't feel guilty about it, because what I don't see, I don't know.
This is why everyone hates you, because you hate babies and you love cats.
I don't hate babies.
This is why you not want a baby, because you have to pick the poo up.
I can't literally.
What?
Nappy changing is a life experience that I wonder what percentage of the world have had to wipe a baby's pooey bum and change a nappy.
I don't think I've ever done it.
That's why I'm also in the 1%. It's not just my obsessive Corrie ranting on Twitter and on a podcast. It's because I've never changed a nappy in my life. And I think that is a life experience that...
probably very universal.
Yeah, that everybody has had.
Does that make us elite or out of touch? I suppose being elite is being out of touch.
Yeah.
Well, we're the unsullied.
Yeah.
They never had to change a nappy either, because they can have kids.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about the Game of Thrones here now, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know what we're talking about here, but anyway.
I'm not hankering for changing a nappy. There are some life experiences, probably on my deathbed, I'd be like, if only I had jumped out of a plane or whatever.
No, that's bad.
But changing a baby's nappy, I will perfectly happily go to my grave without experiencing that joy.
Oh my God! I remember playing a game with somebody who I didn't really know that well, and it was me and all my friends and him, and I was describing how at one point Abby was sitting in the bathroom window, like hunched on the bathroom window, and then she was sick down the wall, and it was the most vile thing that's ever happened. Yeah, I'm sure I've told you about this. And I was like, this is the most vile thing that ever happened in my life, and I couldn't believe how gross it was. And he looked at me, and he had 2 kids, and he looked at me, and I was like, I bet you've got worse stories than that. And he was like, yes. And I'm like, thank you for not telling me.
Whichever one of us gets incontinent first in our old age.
No, don't push it upon anybody.
Sorry, back to the podcast. What were we talking about?
Yeah, a lot of people would call this a poo-cast at this point. This is just completely out of touch. 2 people who don't have any life experience judging fictional characters for being Ben Cobbers. You've got no leg to stand on. I bet you Kit's changed the nappy.
No, he hasn't, because he let Rhodey grow up to be 17 before he even met him.
I bet you he and Sarah are going to have a baby.
I don't think Harry's still in nappies.
Do you think that he and Sarah
sometimes come across as a bit immature.
Going to have a baby together?
No, not interested. Not interested.
Nobody
in
asked
baby
you if you were
storylines
interested.
on Coronation Street. Let's carry on.
I don't get it.
You will. Right. What happens next?
Well, believe it or not, She does pick up the dog poo.
She puts it in the bin and she puts it in the sweet enough bin.
Yeah. It makes me feel sick.
Well, it's there for the children, the little greedy children that root around in the bins going, oh, there's a nice chocolate ice cream.
Can you stop? Can you stop?
Yeah.
Jodie sits with this mystery girl who is Olivia, and this is what happens in this house when somebody isn't immediately introduced. When a new character appears, Michael has to pause it and ask me who they are. Even though it's obvious that you don't know who they are because you've never seen them before.
No, I just
you
thought
pause
I
it and
missed
you
a bit of
demand that
dialogue.
I explain to you what's happening.
Immediately, I just thought I'd missed a bit of dialogue. We only know she's called Olivia because when I didn't know what was going on in the scene, we put the subtitles on, and the subtitles very handily named her for us.
So
classic name that is. That's the number one girl's
I
name.
do like Olivia. It's a nice. One of my quails was called Olivia.
Yes.
See, you say I'm uncaring and out of touch, but I had quails.
I had a friend called Olivia in primary school.
Oh.
Olivia Howells.
I wonder what she's doing now.
I think I have a friend on Facebook, but I don't know because Facebook's just full of ads.
Anyway,
she was Olivia Howells.
No, stop talking about people's names.
She was when I was in first school. And we had a little May King and May Queen May Day assembly.
Oh no!
She was the May Queen and I was the May King.
Of course,
and I had a little flower of crowns. Sorry, a little crown of flowers, and we got photographed for the Coventry Evening Telegraph.
That is a thing.
And that was a thing that happened to me in my life, listeners. I was the May King.
I can't believe that you've gone from May King to what you are now. Like, but everyone.
May King a podcast. What do you mean?
Everyone was like, this kid's future is sealed now. Success will follow. The making will triumph.
No, just a lowly teacher.
Olivia looks at you on Facebook and goes, what a loser. I can't believe he was my making. I can't believe I had to reign with him for a year.
The Coventry Evening Telegraph.
Coventry Evening Telegraph's like, where are they now?
This is the sort of thing that we did in our village schools back in the early 90s. It was a simpler time.
Who did you burn at the stake? For good harvest?
Yeah, it wasn't midsummer, don't worry.
Right, so Jodie's got this...
We've gone so off topic today.
They should burn somebody on Coronation Street just to see if it will calm down all of the bad karma they've got.
Did Anna Windass?
She didn't die though, did she?
Okay, Cal Nazir.
Like, did it buy them some good fortune? I can't remember. Anyway, shut up. Right, Jodie's got this mystery girl called Olivia, and as they talk, we realise that she was like a nanny for this family. Olivia and her sister.
They imply it,
like a babysitter or some kind of carer.
Why can't you look after me and my sister or brother or whoever it is anymore? And so Jodie just gives a big old lie, doesn't she?
This might be true. She says, I was in witness protection. I saw somebody get stabbed to death and I had to leave and get away to protect you and your sister. Promise, don't find me again, otherwise I'll be in danger.
I mean, it's 99% probably a lie, isn't it? Because we know what she's like.
The most surprising thing to me would be that if this turned out to be true.
I quite like the idea of her being a witness protection and Graham was just transporting her to a new life, and that's just all part of how they did it.
And they did it in the police, yeah. They're like, right, bundle you up, round and round and round, blindfold you, stick you in the back of a van.
Put you in a car crash, and then off you go to start your new life. That's why Kit hasn't reported Jodie for being involved in the car crash when he literally knows, because he knows that she's
in witness protection.
Exactly.
So Olivia was like on a school trip or something.
She was on
what the hell are they doing to these poor children?
No, look, geography, field work, that's the buzzword in primary school at the moment. We've got to do field work.
So I told everybody this story about the time when I was at school and they made us do this thing, and we worked out where the poorest. I was the May Queen, and I do know this story. This story is so horrible and out of touch. But I was a child; I had nothing to do with this. They made us find the area of the city that was the poorest,
greatest deprivation,
and then we had to go there and draw the houses of the people that lived there as they're walking around us.
I can't believe
all these snotty little schoolgirls.
I know we've gone very PC and woke now, but I can't believe that even back when we were at school, we would let's go to the slums of Southampton and draw these povos.
Yeah, it was awful. It's one of those memories when you have of being a kid, and you look every so often you kind of revisit the memory, and the further I've got from it, the more I'm like, that was really bad. That was horrific. Why did we do that?
But the twist is, have you said it? You haven't said it.
What is the twist?
Wasn't it your neighbourhood?
No, that was something different.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought that was
No.
the thing in the twist in.
The twist in the tale for that was we were watching a movie about white supremacists. Oh my god. And there was a swastika on the road, and then the film finished because it was the BMP going around asking, and then the film finished, and the teacher went, "What did you think of that?" And I went, "That was my house." Literally, this all completely passed me by.
It wasn't your house.
It was my house. It was literally my house. I remember the swastika being on the road. Oh my god.
Nothing to do with your family though.
Nobody came to my house. Yeah, we
didn't.
I didn't draw it. No BNP people came to my house.
Yes.
That never happened. We were just on the cusp of the dodgy thing.
You were on the Paul Robeson estate of Southampton.
Man, I was a little bit. Anyway, the other thing that happened, we were drawing these horrible, these poor people's houses, and I don't mean poor and poverty. I mean like these poor. They didn't ask to be drawn.
Poor unfortunate souls.
We're there with our school uniforms going, Miss, I'm in, we're going to draw you. Please hold still.
Can you imagine that? This bunch of children drawing you because you're poor.
Mrs. Smith, should I draw the rubbish in? Should I draw the homeless man?
Should I draw the ragged ends on the bottom of his jeans, and maybe I draw the mucky streaks on his face?
I've done a fire in the background just symbolic.
Yeah.
Then we went to the richest part of the city and drew the houses there. And one of the girls in my class, who we knew was posh anyway.
Bassett?
It was actually. She's like, "Oh, I live round the corner from here." It's like, shut up. Shut up, Shireen.
Anyway,
that's
a long way-winded
Olivia was dropped off
on her
to go and observe the poverty of Weatherfield precinct and draw it for her geography, I'm sure.
I don't know whether she was dropped off at the precinct, but she said that it was one of these like literally impossible things that could have happened, that she was dropped off on a school trip. She happened to see Jodie, and then she happens to be able to find her again. But
I know. Anyway, Jodie is. Then Betsy comes up to talk to Jodie. Obviously,
the other thing was when we were watching Teenagers from Hell or something, or Shops from Hell, or Neighbourhoods from Hell, and it was literally the shops just around the corner from your parents' house.
It was. Yeah, it was. Okay, all right.
Sorry, carry on. Sorry.
You tell me about working class life. I'll tell you. Thanks very much.
We're in a better place.
This is why I don't recognise this show as anything to do with how my life was when I was a kid.
But we live in a 3-bedroom house now, Gemma. We've made it. It's fine. We've got 3 freezers, Gemma.
Oh my
God. Life
God.
can't get better than this.
Draw that, kids. Anyway, this is ridiculous. We're going to get slammed for this. This is terrible, this podcast. This is like the most out of touch podcast we've ever done. I hate this. I hate myself.
It's fine.
Right, so Betsy comes over to Jodie just to establish that in the future, when possibly Jodie is the victim, she knows who she is.
Oh yes, that was very much. These characters are going to meet each other.
She's like, "Hi, Betsy. I'm your neighbour. I'm your neighbour, Betsy. I'm just getting a look at your face to see if I recall it when it's caved in on the 23rd of April."
Yeah. That girl Olivia was drawing me the other day because I've got blue and pink streaks in my hair. I think she thought I was Povo.
Right, so they get ready for their fish and chips at home, Jodie and David, and then we see that Jodie has got Bernie's face. She's the one that cut it out and put it in her secret box.
Story, isn't it? David doesn't want gravy all over his fish and chips, does he? Rightly so.
Well, you're a squirter and I'm a dipper. You like to squirt your sauce everywhere.
Squirt gravy.
No, I know, but if you had sauce, you'd pour it all over the place.
Oh yeah, but no, I wouldn't. I don't have gravy at the fish and chip shop, and indeed, I don't have curry sauce at the chip shop.
I have either. I like both of them.
I have my salt and my vinegar and my tomato sauce, and that's good enough for me.
I think you'll
find none of this fancy other muck.
I think you'll find that the accent that you're doing would be the gravy accent.
Oh yeah, it is actually, isn't it? I'm from the land of gravy.
Where you're from the Midlands, right? So the south is generally considered to be the curry sauce land, and the north is generally the gravy sauce land.
Well, that's why I'm from the Midlands.
The Midlands is like, I don't like flavour.
We like it plain.
Don't put anything on mine.
What do we sound in the Midlands? I just sound like
Don't put anything on mine.
No, that's Scouse, isn't it?
Don't put anything on mine.
You got to do your Birmingham
I was supposed to be Birmingham. That was supposed.
No, I don't want any of that on my chips.
Yeah.
I like my chips plain, I do.
Right.
That's what I could have ended up sounding like if I'd just been born the next city along.
I don't care. Wednesday, Mary presents Rita with a decorative plate emblazoned with their photos and the word friendship because it is her birthday.
Happy birthday, Rita.
Happy birthday, Rita. Brian's
21
mad.
again.
He hasn't bought her anything because he's too busy worrying about his book theft. And then Jodie says maybe whoever it is who's stolen this is starting a reign of terror.
I can tell you a Coronation Street character who's come from the Midlands and what their voice
Dev.
sounds like. Hey, it's me. I'm from the Midlands.
I
I'm
don't
Dev.
want any curry sauce or gravy
This is
on
when
my
I wish that this was a video podcast because they're both automatically doing this little
What is this?
robot arm somewhere, Dev.
We're like steering a giant steering wheel.
I think you can probably guess what action we're doing when we're doing our hey.
And when we do, it's like
it is a bit of the Fonz, isn't it?
It's kind of like Danny Dyer's. Danny Dyer's is like up and down, like from the elbows.
Yeah.
But Dev's is like from the hips.
Rotating. Yeah, anyway. Sorry.
Right. Jodie.
That's podcast.
I know. Should we scrap it
No,
and start
no.
again? Jodie encourages David the dog to poo on the pavement, the other side of the street, and runs away.
I'm glad that you've added that because my notes just say encourages David to poo on the pavement. And if you're not paying attention,
She goes to number 8 and tells Shona that she's booked them a pampering session at Audrey's to thank her for everything. So they all go there, and then...
I love my spelling mistake in the note there that says a papering session at Audrey's. Gonna wallpaper it.
So they all
rag
talk
roll.
about it, and the girls have a giggle that Shona says David is cute for doting over Harper, and then Michael's in the corner going, why did I stand? It's just a baby. Maria says that she's been the making of him. Jodie's not happy about this, and then she steals one of Shona's rings.
Oh, we had Jodie cam, didn't we? We had first person perspective. It's like we were playing that in Resident Evil 9 out this week. From Jodie's point of view. Is that first person? Oh no, it's not, is it?
I don't know, I haven't got it.
Jodie cam, wobble, honing in on the rings.
So everyone's looking for it, and Jodie's like, oh, that's terrible. But Bethany seems to think immediately and suspicious that Jodie is the one that's taken it, which is very intuitive of her. She was wasted on that air fryer article. On Thursday, Toya's getting her hair done at the salon by Maria and asked David if Shona's okay because she was a bit of a bitch earlier.
Was it this week where Toya wore something that wasn't black?
That was the other week. She wore red.
Was it? A lovely red outfit, wasn't she? Yeah.
Shona's okay. She's a bit short with her earlier, and Dave was like, she just doesn't like you.
Yeah.
No, she says that she's tired. She's upset about her ring
going back
being
and forth to the hospital,
missing.
making me do it too.
And then he gets a phone call from Jodie saying, come home immediately. It's an emergency. And when he gets home, Jodie's fine, but she's got her arm down the back of the chair. And I've heard of movies like this, but it doesn't turn out like that. She tells him that she's lost the ring down the back of the sofa.
What's movies like?
And then she's like, oh, David, oh, help me. Oh, you need to push harder and get, oh, yeah, you're nearly there, David. Help me with this ring. So eventually...
I thought it was going to be like their hands connect or a bit of a Lady in the Tramp and the Spaghetti moment and they both emerge there with the ring holding it one half each or something.
The ring's in my mouth and it's stuck on my tongue. You have to get it off. So they get it and give it to Shona. And Jodie brings it in on her wedding ring finger, which I thought was a funny touch. Because she comes in showing it off like she's just got engaged. And everyone's happy apart from Bethany, who looks super suspicious and tells Maria that she's suspicious. And Maria's like, don't worry about it. On Friday, Jodie is making out to Shona, who's just come home from the hospital, wasting her time.
Yeah.
And she basically throws David under the bus and makes out that he hasn't emptied the dishwasher, he's used up all the milk and he hasn't gone shopping.
I suppose it's a bit like Lauren, isn't it? She didn't leave that hospital when Franke needed his bone marrow transplant.
I know, but they've decided they can't be. But do you think they had a big in the story conference? They were like, are we going to bother doing the baby scenes in the hospital? Or do you think everyone's over it after Frankie?
I think they made the right decision. I didn't want the Frankie 2 here.
So David wakes up late, and he was supposed to have done all this stuff, but he hasn't because he's tired. And there's kind of a bit of a tension between them because Shona's tired as well.
Yeah, well, Jodie is just clearly trying to
stir the pot.
Yes.
Bethany makes some pointed comments to Jodie about how great she is at detecting things.
And finding rings.
And then...
Oh, how convenient. You were able to find that ring.
Shona comes into the cafe.
It's
she's
because
like,
Bethany knows that Shona said that she'd lost the ring at the
well, she was there when it went missing.
Yeah.
She was there. So Shona comes into the cafe. She's like, I'm so busy and tired that I've come to the cafe so you can make me a cup of coffee. Because I don't have time to sleep. Mm-hmm. And so Bethany says, hey, Jodie, take Lily to the cinema tonight. I'll do whatever it is that needs doing as well. And then you and David, Shona, can spend the evening together. Okay? And Jodie's like, oh yeah, fine. But she looks knocked because she doesn't want that to happen.
Oh no, yeah, she got strong-armed into babysitting, didn't she? So
Jodie and Lily go off to the cinema. So Shona cooks David a nice meal, dresses up. They have the lovely nice tea, and they're about to eat there.
I did think... Oh, God, sorry, the brownies.
Yeah.
I did think that was a bit of a... You know, brownies are nice and everything, but if you put it on this grand romantic dinner...
What would you cook for me?
It looks like she just brought home the rejects from the cafe, like the unsold. Didn't go on too good to go. Yeah, I'll have these.
David doesn't seem like the sort of person you have to really push the boat out.
No, maybe not. If it had been cream horns, that would have been quite a good reference, because then you know that that's what she's done.
What would you cook for me?
What,
a hard day of me looking at the baby? In the hospital.
Well, anything that I can just shove in the oven, really.
Well, how is that different from a pile of brownies from a shop you work in?
I'm not saying that I would do any different.
What are you moaning about?
We all know that I'm useless when it comes to
You like
cooking.
brownies. If I made you a pile of brownies...
Yeah, but you don't like brownies. I wouldn't bring you brownies.
I don't like cakes, really. So, David... What happens? Lily and Jodie come home, the gate crash it, because Jodie's clearly sabotaged this trip by saying, I booked a wrong movie, it's an 18. Oh, and the next one's not on for an hour. What,
Nobody
so you can't
questions her about that.
You can't find a cinema in Manchester that's showing a film you want to watch.
I just thought it was odd that nobody questioned, like, how did you accidentally book an 18? Is it a case that you didn't realise that, you know, Blood and Guts Chainsaw
sort of
Gang was an 18? Or...
but your Blood and Guts Chainsaw Gang 2 was 15.
Well, Lily is still only 13. I don't know.
That's the sort of thing I would do.
I mean, it was clearly Jodie trying to get back home to put an end to their evening, but
yeah,
I just think that they should have called her out a little bit more.
Very
Bethany
smug.
would have done.
Bethany would have been like,
what's
hang
that? On a minute.
But there isn't actually any Bloodsaw Chainsaw Gang 3 playing anywhere in Manchester today. I think you're lying.
I mean, if I was Lily, I probably would have said, come on, Auntie Jodie, can you take me for a pizza? Or something like that, you know, or can we go bowling? But anyway.
What a wholesome child you are.
The morning suit storyline. This kind of kicked off again on Wednesday after the scene, was it 2 weeks ago? When the old lady, I can't remember their names. I've got them peppered around the notes somewhere. I know Joan was the one that was the new lady this week. Annie was the one who came in a couple of weeks ago and had a go at George in that scene that I thought was a little bit too comedic for the subject matter. Anyway, you got this Joan woman there at the Undertakers whose sister has died. I don't remember.
Yes, it was her sister.
And as she's leaving, Christina puts her foot in it a little bit by joking to George about getting his way into another little old lady's will. Little does she know that this little old lady's sister has not yet left the place. So she's, whoops, I shouldn't have said that. George goes and has a bit of a sad sit in the cafe because he doesn't like the fact that he's being accused of... whatever it was he being accused of doing, getting his way into old women's wills or whatever. Anyway, Christina comes and apologises to him, and then Adam comes along, and he's been hired by Annie because she wants to contest her late... Annie's, it's his mother. Annie's mum is dead. Joan's sister's dead, all right?
Right.
Very important. He wants to contest. She wants to contest her late mother's will. Adam is there on her side. He wants to settle it all through mediation, but he's not hopeful because that Annie is a vengeful old cow apparently, and
Not that old. She's not that old.
Fairly old.
No, she's not.
George is really worried about the reputation of Shuttleworth at the moment, and then Christina says, well, I'm going to do something about it. So she contacts Joan, who was the woman from this morning, and has a little meeting with her at the bistro trying to smooth things over, and says that George is the victim of a slanderous campaign to wreck his name. Tells her basically everything that's happened, and the woman's like, well, that doesn't sound like George at all. And this story is still going back and forth in between. Is this a serious storyline? Is this a bit of a comedy storyline? How are you finding this story this week? Are you enjoying it? Because I'm kind of on the cusp. There are bits that I'm enjoying, and there are bits that I'm just like, oh, this is a bit silly now. And then today, when it got all a bit legal, at the same time as the other police station stuff, I was like, I'm not enjoying that bit. I mean, the fact that this is a George and Christina storyline, 100%, yes, they've got their own story, but the context of the story is not quite hitting with me. What about you?
I think it's a bit of a shame that they have Christina and George in a funeral parlour, because I love the character so much, but it skates on the borders of, like, I don't know how funny this.
Well, as soon as they brought the funeral parlour into Corrie, people were worried that it would make a few light-hearted comments about serious matters, which is something that this podcast would never do.
Never, ever. It's just, the thing is, because Corrie's a universal show, and so people of all ages are watching it. But just like with the police stuff, no, we haven't made a decision to watch a show about a comedic funeral parlour. And I might watch that, or I might not, but you don't really get a choice as to whether you want to watch it when it's kind of shoehorned into Coronation Street. I love Christina and George so much. I think they're brilliant characters. I just think that sometimes the jokes that they're involved in can be a bit like, it's actually quite sad.
I get that. Sometimes that bothers me and sometimes it doesn't. I'm just a bit sad that their first big storyline together as a couple is more legal stuff. And
yeah, how does that happen?
I'd rather it was they had a story of, something a bit more light-hearted, something a bit, like the George snoring storyline when he first got together with Eileen. Something more along those lines.
But Michael, the police station set, they can use it in this storyline.
What I want to know about this whole setup, how grubby and dirty and dusty and mucky is that funeral parlour that Christina seems to need to have a full-time job, or at least every time that George is there, she's there with either a marigolds on or
that spray. She must get through so much furniture.
And he
spray.
never had a cleaner before.
No,
because we never saw a cleaner.
She can come round here.
Literally, what does she do? It's spotless.
I used to, but I've known women like that. They just clean all the time. Maybe this is the start of an OCD storyline.
For Christina.
Yeah. Would you like that? Would you like that, you pervert?
No, because that's a medical storyline, isn't it? It's a condition storyline. I just think it's a bit bizarre, and I don't think that Shuttleworth can or needs to sustain a full-time
That's what she's
cleaner.
there. She's there. She does it. Get over it. We can't nitpick everything.
I know, it's giving them an opportunity to work together and have scenes together, which I've got no problem with whatsoever. It's just a little
Why
bit
doesn't
unusual.
she suddenly develop a lifelong passion for calligraphy and do all the orders of service with nice drawing handwriting?
Do you think George, because he's so sweet on her and he doesn't want to lose her, he just goes around like chucking the ashes around and mucking up the place every night just so there's something new for her to clean again every day? Oh, you got to come into work again today, Christina.
Next.
Anyway, this is a long-winded way of saying some of the funny bits I enjoyed, and I very much loved the scene where Christina's on the phone to fake George, pretending to talk to him and going, "Oh, George, oh, don't cry, my darling. I know it's really sad about what's happened." He's trying to elicit sympathy from this woman. I thought that was super. And then George walking in, and she's still having this phone call. It was so like an obvious thing, but I thought it was played really, really well. It was hilarious. And then Joan obviously is, "Oh, you're giving me a pack of lies." My dead sister's probably spinning in her grave and she's not even been buried yet. I'm never using Shuttleworth again. It was, the plot needed to get to a stage where this woman would renounce Shuttleworths. And it did in a quite a good fashion, I'm going to say. So Thursday, George is trying to get hold of Joan on the phone to try and smooth things over properly.
Do you think she answers it like, Joan's phone?
Joan's phone. Is that Christina the cleaner? Christine is still feeling dead guilty about this, and George says, look, maybe I just need to decline this bequest of Annie's money, and if I don't take the money, then everything's going to be okay. And Christina's like, no, I know that I've had a complete character transformation in the past year, and I'm not that kind of money-grabbing cow that I was when I first came into it, but I definitely think you should still take the money. It's owed to you. Annie's sister said that you should have it. Don't be silly.
Mum.
You deserve, Mum. You deserve that £10,000. Don't let her push you around. Do you think that this is just a little bit of Christina's greedy streak showing itself here?
No, I think she loves George and thinks he deserves the money for his hard work and care. But, maybe, I don't know.
He doesn't deserve the money, but he's got it by completely innocent means. He's not conned her out of it. He's not Richard Hillman that money out of her.
But I do think that George is a man. He owns his own business. He's very well off. He doesn't have kids. And he's got a house. And he doesn't live in it. Is £10,000 worth this aggravation and the possible ruination of his reputation? I think I'd turn it down. I know £10,000 is a lot of money, but I don't think it is to George.
I mean, Shuttleworths is a business that we are led to believe has been going for 100 or so years, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And, all businesses on Coronation Street have their, we're ruined, this is the end of us, and then mostly life goes on. But, yeah, I think...
You're going to lose 10 grand fighting this with solicitors' fees and stuff.
Maybe that's how it's going to end, because I've not really considered what the resolution of this story is going to be. Because
and what would you...
It's not going to be the Shuttleworths closing down, is it? That's not going to happen.
I just think that I think he's incredibly well off, and I don't think that £10,000 would make much of a difference in his life. But not having his business be ruined because of a bunch of slanderous nonsense that would cause him a lot more anxiety. And then also, what do you do with it once you get it? Wouldn't you just be like, oh God, this... For him...
Yeah, it's blood money.
For him, for some people, this would make a huge difference. £10,000, that would be an incredible...
life-changing amount of money.
But for him, it'd be like, oh, what am I going to spend it on? A holiday where I spend the whole time feeling guilty? I don't know.
Yeah. You know what?
You can give me £10,000.
I'm not usually one to go off topic, but I have been having a little thing.
Really?
And I was thinking that if Abby was in the vets overnight
for
many weeks...
Right. Would you go and visit her?
I might want to go and give her a stroke and a scratch under the chin.
Didn't you go in once to see her, was that?
I don't think so. I don't think she or Safi went in for too long overnight.
Yeah.
Maybe I would.
She's on my lap, by the way, in case you wondered why I was saying that.
I wouldn't say, we have to have shifts to go and visit her.
Shut up about it. Move on. You said it now. You can't undo it. You can just delete it.
No, I'm not going to delete it because it's quality content.
We're never going to beat the allegations.
Joan comes around. Oh no, what happened? I missed a scene. Oh, Adam and Alia.
It's good they're involved.
I don't know who's the worst suited couple, Adam and Alia or Ollie and Lauren.
What about Kit and Sarah? You hate them too?
I don't like them as a couple, no. I think actually...
Do you hate love, Michael?
No. I think that Adam and Alia are the least suited. I think that, Lauren and Ollie, I can see why they might end up together. But Adam and Alia, I don't get.
Michael, you've forgotten that for the past year, neither of them have had a personality.
But Adam does have a...
He doesn't know, does he? At the moment, what personality does he have?
Scottish.
He doesn't have anything. He just is Alia's girlfriend.
Boyfriend. He's still the player, isn't he?
No, he's not. He hasn't done anything interesting Since he got with her, she's like beiged him.
He is not her type. Anyway,
he hasn't done anything. He just says, "I'm an objectionable solicitor."
Adam tells Christina he's put a stop on the money coming to George. It's best for everyone's sake. It's going to keep George and Christina out of court.
Yeah, because they can then they
can sort it out properly between them.
Yeah.
So Joni comes to the Shuttleworths later, and George lets her in. She seems less ratted off now. But she still doesn't trust Christina after that whole phone stunt earlier.
Oh,
does trust George, though. Shuttleworth's reputation, 5 stars on Rate Your Undertaker. And she's happy for him to still do sister, mother, I don't bloody know.
Sister.
Funeral.
It is a sister.
Okay.
Joan is the sister and Annie is the mum.
The mum. Okay.
Annie's mum is the one that's got the problem.
And then we had George monologuing to the window. He's doing a gale, isn't he?
He's like Gale,
national TV award is coming my way. And you sort of noticed it first, didn't you? I think
she clutched her chest.
Yeah, I don't know. You had to have been not really paying attention to have predicted that was going to happen. Before the reveal, like the camera was lingering on George for so long.
He was like, I will never live a day without Shuttleworth.
Show the dead
being
woman.
The best undertakers in all of
So
Weatherfield.
while he's busy doing that monologue, Joan pops her clogs and George calls for an ambulance. And now this looks a heck of a lot worse. I don't know why, because he's, there's nobody's going to accuse him of killing her.
So no BAFTA for George.
No BAFTA for George.
Can I just say, I told you I didn't like Philip Schofield, and I told you I didn't like the BAFTAs, and now look.
Yeah.
Am I ever wrong?
No British Soap Award for George this year either. But
No.
Right, so Team Shuttleworth on Friday, including Glenda, who's decided to show up at the end of the week, are all at the Undertakers, and they're trying to reassure George it's all going to blow over. Yeah, a woman died in your funeral parlour, but nobody's going to accuse you of stealing her, of killing her, just to get, your way out of this problem or to try and get money off of her or anything like this.
Oh, it wouldn't make any sense.
Then Joan's son comes in, and he seems like a fairly nice chap, and he doesn't got no axe to grind against George.
His aunt and his mum's dead.
Yeah,
and he's fine.
Until Annie rocks up outside the Undertakers later on and tells this bloke how dodgy George is, and then before you know it, he's going to go to another company. Again, it was just a bit of a clunky scene. It's like the scene needed to end with the man renouncing Shuttleworths, and it was a little.
So we got 22 minutes to get this done. So
it felt a little bit paint by numbers, a little bit. I apologise to the writer of this episode.
Well, they've got to get the stuff done in the amount of time, and they don't always have.
What could go wrong now? Of course, he's not gonna. Anyway, Adam and Annie are complaining to Kit later. They go down the police station and say, there's George, he's a dodgy bloke. And Kit says, no, he's not. I know Mr. Shuttleworth personally. So the woman huffs off, thinking that Kit's already taken sides. And Adam points out to Kit that Christina did used to be a con artist, actually. Are you sure that my client isn't onto something here?
I did not like that.
No,
I was like, damn it. I hope that Christina isn't actually secretly pulling some strings here.
No, she's not.
No, I know, but
seen
I don't
enough of her,
But I wouldn't put it past her.
She's no way pulling any strings. We've seen the way that she's been acting.
Yeah, I know, but it is. Look, I'm not questioning it because it's to my benefit. But her complete reversal from total villain to butter wouldn't melt over the course of like a year is absolutely stupid.
You're saying that Christina got to Annie's sister a few months ago and was sweet talking
I don't know how it would have worked.
No, the way that she's been reacting has been full on genuine. I can't believe this is happening.
But why are they bringing? I don't know why they're bringing up that she was a con artist. I think Corey needs to just. No, I know, but I think Corey needs to leave that, like, pretend that never happened, because. Yeah, it doesn't serve the character to bring it up now, does it?
It's just something that we dropped in every now and then, like Tracy is a murderer.
What I don't want is for...
Oh, good yawn.
I don't want George to start wondering if Christina is behind it, and then
I don't want that.
Oh, Georgie, why would you say that? I can't be with you anymore.
They need to be a united front. This needs to be a story about, and it is at the moment, a very good one, a story about George and Christina, best new couple. being a united front.
Best new couple.
Anyway, Tim talks to them at the end of the episode because he talked to
he took them.
He
to
took
the
Adam and Annie to the police station and brought them back earlier, and he kind of says, "Oh, they seem to be talking as if everything's going well for them."
But
so there was a little bit of worry
for
George at the end. I'm sure it will all blow over, but I don't really know how it's going to blow over. But I'm enjoying watching it. Like I say, just the legal angle. I wish they hadn't gone down that route.
I love it. More legal things.
No, you don't. You hate
if
it.
There's nothing, if they can't involve the hospital and the police station, they should at least involve Adam taking somebody to court.
Right, we did mention Cal burning to a crisp earlier this podcast, and now it is time for the Jimmy mystery storyline. Big Jim McDonald, Gemma. What's up with him? What's going on here?
Is it me?
Yeah.
I thought it was you.
No.
Well, let me tell you all about it.
Thank you. There's not much to tell, to be honest, is there?
No.
We're on to the shorter stories now.
So Steve is just loving his new best friend, Ben, telling Cassie all about it, who popped up this week. But then he gets a phone call and he's worried about whatever it is that he's being told on the other end. He tells Cassie that Jim, his dad, Jim McDonald, has forged
Big Jim McDonald.
Steve's signature, put his name down as a guarantor in a rent agreement, and now he owes £1,000. And so they're talking about tracking him down with a PI to try to get hold of him.
This
is bizarre.
They really... Would Jim have done that? People are mad.
Oh, yeah, it was £18,000, not £1,000.
Yeah, no, £1,800.
Oh, jeez, help me out.
Gemma's not so good with the maths, are you?
I'm too far away from the screen. My old lady eyes.
People are saying that they don't like the idea of Jim having had an affair with Maggie in the 70s or 80s or whenever it was, because Jim was very much, committed to Liz.
You said that.
I said this as well. And when he found out about the affair that she'd had with his army mate, it was the betrayal that he was absolutely fuming about. And does it change the idea of that if he'd also been unfaithful? I also, the last Jim story was a bit naff, wasn't it? And the fact that he was trying to trick his family. I don't see Jim as a villain. A Coronation Street villain, do you? When I think of him, I think, yeah, he's a tough, roughy-tufty alpha male, man's man, or to be sure.
Just a domestic abuser.
So he is. No, he's not.
You can't.
He was just really, really mad when he found out that Liz had had an affair. No excusing him. I see him as a really fiery, passionate character who sometimes his temper gets the better of him. I don't like the last story which had him conning his family. I don't like now he's forged Steve's signature, and he now because of Jim Steve it's just kind of left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth of the character of Jim, who up until now I'd be like, yeah, I think I love Jim McDonald. He's a classic character, isn't he? And now he's like this.
Being besmirched.
He's been a bit Dennis Tannered here, hasn't he? And, is Jim going to eventually be scattered across a car park somewhere outside a pub in the Lake District? I don't know, but it's a real shame that this is kind of the legacy, the end of the legacy of Jim. That he's
it'll be fine. Although on the phone with his dad's ex, Steve finds out that Jim's in hospital.
Oh yeah, he doesn't need a PI after all. Was this Hannah that he was on the phone?
I know,
to?
that's what I was going to say.
Don't know. Did she have an Australian accent? Who knows?
On Tuesday, Cassie's winding Tracy up over breakfast, but Steve's worrying about whether he should go and see Jim or not. And Tracy's like, just don't bother. And Cassie's like, oh, you should. You don't want to live your life with regrets. Steve goes to leave. Amy comes up very wisely, tells him that you don't owe Jim anything, but you do owe it to yourself to not have any regrets.
What do you think?
Go and see him.
I literally can't imagine a scenario, and I know that some families are so kind of torn apart, and the parents are so awful and abusive and neglectful, and they probably wouldn't visit their babies in hospital.
No,
I can see that there are some cases where it's like, no, I am cutting this person out of my life, I'm having nothing to do with him. But Jim and Steve have got a bit of a better relationship than
It's
that.
bizarre that,
They've gone off the boil in the past few years, yes, but I don't get the impression that he's just been cut off the family tree and set adrift.
I really can't. I feel as though I've deleted the last story that's Jim in it from my brain.
I think
I'm like, what's wrong, Steve? Go see him.
They had lots of good years together. And I know, Steve pushed him off some scaffolding and all that, but it's water under the bridge. And I think Amy is 100% right here that he is going to have massive regrets if he doesn't go and see him.
Well, I think, yeah, at the very least, go and see what the hell's going on with this money.
Yeah, well, exactly. But
he can't escape you then, can he?
Yeah.
Anyway,
go for heaven's sake, go and see. If you just got a little bit of resentment to your family members and they're not doing so well in hospital.
I can't tell anyone else what to do, but
Steve should see. If I was
Steve, I'd go.
Yeah.
So,
and not only because I'd just love to see Jim again on the street.
Ben finds Steve. He's got a flat battery in his car because he's like, oh yeah, I don't really drive anywhere. My car's broken.
Since coming to Coronation Street, none of us drive anywhere ever, unless it's for
park our
storyline
cars
purposes. Yeah.
Steve says this is a good sign I shouldn't go and visit Jim, but Ben's like, oh, you should go. I'll give you a lift.
Yeah, sorry, it's Steve with the flat battery, isn't it? It's not Ben. Silly man.
Steve and Ben are in the hospital car park, and Steve is like, I still don't know whether to go or not. Should I go in or not?
They didn't show a whole lot of it, but are we to believe that this was Weatherfield General and Jim's just been living around the corner?
It did look.
Or it was
anywhere? Weatherfield General because they got a bit of the siding in the shot, and that's the same siding as Weatherfield General.
That's part of the problem with when you intimately know some of the filming locations. It's like, well, maybe that was supposed to be a long way away, but we know that was exactly the car park they used for Weatherfield General. So
is there no other bit of the car? I mean, they use the same. They use the shot against the back of where Coronation Street is. That's Freshco's car park, and then you reverse the camera, and that could be anywhere in the world. That's a car park.
I did wonder at this point whether they were going to have a scene because we knew that Charlie Lawson's not coming back to Coronation Street, is he? So we knew that we wouldn't see Steve and him together. But I did kind of wonder and really, really hope if we'd at least have Steve go and visit him and then come back from visiting him.
I know it does seem a bit weird to have a story where they could have pretended and they're like, no, we can't do it because people would wonder why we didn't get Charlie Lawson back. Like you've done plenty of things like this before. Yeah. I just assume that this will lead into a big spiraling. I mean,
this is going to lead into Steve regretting
it's obvious
not going to
what's going to happen, but we can't say.
Hospital here, isn't it?
So he's like, I can't go in. I think he's just going to lie to me again. So they go back to the pub. Steve tells Cassie he couldn't face going in, and Maggie is like, where have you been? Where have you been? To Ben, and Ben says, don't worry
Jim's
about
character.
Don't worry your head about it, Ma, is what he says.
He didn't
and Michael loved this so
Ben
much.
said, don't worry your head about it. That's a Jim thing to say. And if that isn't a clue that Ben is related to Jim.
But how did it get to him?
It doesn't matter.
Through genetic osmosis.
DNA. Because don't worry your head about it. If he starts calling Amy, we Amy, if he starts calling everyone else by their full names, if he says, I'll tell you this and I'll tell you no more, like, I just wonder how much Corrie are going to push this, because that was 100% a reference to the hardcore Corrie Massive, who know that that's a Jim McDonald thing to say. Is it not just what
people say?
Is it not just something that people from Northern Ireland say? Well, yes, it probably is. But I think it was totally there as a little clue.
It was a bit, but it's like...
drank it up.
It'd be like if you watched a show and it was set in Northern Ireland and somebody went, I'm going to have a crumpet. And they went, oh my God, that's what that English character says. It definitely must be related to that English character because only that person said crumpet.
There are a few characters on Coronation Street that are catchphrase machines as much as
I'm
Jim.
pretty sure they
In
have
fact,
crumpets.
I'm going to say, I don't think any character on Coronation Street has ever had as many catchphrases as Jim.
Michael, but a lot of what he said wasn't his individual catch. So I'm trying to get you to
I
understand.
know it's not. But it's still a Jim catchphrase.
You're a bit like, you remind me of these characters in Love Actually, where they get Colin the love god, and they're sitting around in the bar and they're getting him to say words, and they're like, oh my god, that's adorable, bottle.
Yeah, I mean, literally, all they would have had to have done is when Ben went out into the back, if he'd said, cheerio, Nye. Yes.
That's what I need to hear. Maggie's like,
Maggie's like, I know somebody who used to say that.
Yeah.
It was his dad.
Oh, God. On Wednesday, Ben says to Steve, I got a freebie from the brewery. We can access all areas at County.
I've got a new manager at County.
Amazing. We've been watching Changing Ends, so we know how this works.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to come? And he's like, yeah, I'd love to come. And Tim's like, how come you're going? And so Ben invites him as well.
This is just the sort of stuff where it's like, oh, come on, Corrie, show it. Show Ben, Steve and Tim at
They've
the
got 22
stadium.
minutes. They don't have time for that. So
that's what we want. I don't want to see more police station scenes. Let's just see the guys having fun at the football. Oh, well.
How would they have fun at the foot? The last time we saw anybody at the football, it was Dee Dee with toilet paper on her foot.
What was that?
Going to argue for
defend James, yeah. I would have loved to have seen more of that. I'm really enjoying this story. This is like my favourite story of the week, I think.
Okay.
And then barely anything's happening. I just love the characters involved. And I'm not always a fan of Steve McDonald, but they've got a great little thing going on here with these three guys.
I'm just loving Tim being put in his place. I love this.
Yeah.
He's going to get so mad if he finds out that Ben and Steve are brothers. He's going to be jealous. And then Steve's going to have to be like, oh, well, you'll always be my best mate. You can't pick your best mates, can you? And I've picked you. And Tim will go, oh.
Well, it wasn't this week's episode where Steve says to Tim, oh, Ben, he's the best. And he's like, oh, it's like second best.
Yeah. He's so jealous.
It's so silly and petty.
It's
great.
They've had a great afternoon. Maggie's annoyed because she's been on her own and Ben's supposed to be behind the bar. And this is when Steve puts his foot in it by telling Tim that Ben's the best and he doesn't like that.
Oh, that was that bit, was it?
And then he invites Tim to play darts with him as his phone rings with big Jim McDonald on the line, and he doesn't see it.
I thought it's not a plot hole or anything, but I was expecting there to be then a scene where Steve gets back to his phone, sees that there's a missed call, but it's just completely dropped, isn't it? There's no mention of that phone call later on in the week.
Nope.
You know, was Steve gonna...
What's the point of it?
Should Jim have left a voicemail?
What was the point of that? I didn't get it. Right, so on Thursday...
I mean, this... Again, is this Elaine's trying to phone up Debbie to speak to Carl kind of situation here?
Feels like it.
Yeah. On
Thursday, Steve's got so drunk that he's had to spend the night on the sofa in the Rovers. And again, this is what we're gonna have to get used to, this kind of shorthand. I know that they did this a little bit before, but there's always gonna be, I think, in this era of Coronation Street, these missing scenes where you're like, you've got to just accept that you didn't get to see this bit. Yeah. I know it used to happen, but it just feels a bit more glaring now.
This is AC's story of the week, isn't it? And I just wish it had been bumped up a little bit at the ranking.
I just mean that, you know, Steve's had a raucous night. He's slept on the sofa in the Rovers. Amy comes round saying, "How come you never gave me a lift? Why didn't you just come next door? You know, what's the point?" And then Steve gets Ollie to give him a fry up because Ollie's the best at everything that's cooking.
What was I can't remember what the snobby thing was that he said about... Oh, it was about beans, wasn't it?
Oh, he makes his own beans. I hate this character. I hate this character so much.
I hate baked beans, but I thought, Heinz baked beans are supposed to be top quality.
Well, no, there's a schism in the bean world.
Oh, is there?
But don't make your own beans. It's so wanky. I don't care. I'm not interested. You don't I'm just about maybe on board if you can make a ketchup that's good. But it has to taste like a specific... Honestly, don't see the point of making your own beans. They either taste like Heinz, in which case, why did you not just give me Heinz? Or any, I don't care actually, I'm not that fussy. Any canned beans. And if they don't taste like beans, you've just wasted my time because I want beans with it.
Do you think he makes his own spaghetti hoops as well?
Oh,
really? He coils the spaghetti himself.
He's probably got a special spaghetti hoop mould. And he makes them out of I don't know, agar.
Yeah. And then he gets his little sausages and his little mini sausage maker and puts those in there as
He's
well.
the kind of person that puts Richmond sausages in canned Heinz. I can't have them anymore. All because of people like Ollie who ruin things by being food snobs.
Right, sorry, carry on. What happened next?
I'm glad you reminded me of that because I was
right.
absolutely outraged when he said he made his own beans.
I thought you would
If I go and have... If I'm going for a fry-up or a full English breakfast and you're making your own beans, I'm not having it. Well, that's something different. You've just ruined my day.
I know.
And it's only just started. On Friday, Steve says to Amy, I'm not going to let my dad get to me. I've been speaking to Andy. And he says, hello, by the way. My twin brother. That's right. I haven't forgotten he exists.
My one and only brother.
Yeah, I've only got one brother. I've got to be good to him.
Oh, I wish that I had more than one brother because Andy is so great.
Andy's so far away. I wish my brother was here. Or next door.
Yes. None of which was dialogue, but it was all very much implied.
It's all unspoken.
And hinted at, yeah.
So he says, I've spoken to Andy and I've realised I need to be more like him and completely forget that Jim exists. And also possibly the rest of the family because Andy hasn't given us a thought. And in fact, probably deleted my number from his phone.
Andy, I could definitely see Andy washing his hands of Jim because he's been living in Spain for... 25 odd years now, hasn't he?
What did he do that was so bad? I mean, I know he's a criminal.
Who, Jim?
Yeah. What did he do again?
Well, he went to prison for killing Jez Quigley, didn't he? And then he
he
held up a building society.
Yeah, but that was funny. And Jez Quigley was a wrong'un and he tried to hurt Steve, so that's fine. Then he pretended his dead sister was alive. That was funny.
That's the main thing.
Just a series of shenanigans. Anyway, yeah, I think the thing is you get so twisted because when you watch a soap, you're like, look.
He came back and punched Vernon as well.
There are so many things that other people have done that are worse than that. Why are you hung up on it for? But in real life, you'd be like, this is devastating. I can never overcome this. Anyway, Mary comes in to tell everybody she's going to the Brit Awards to see Ben Shepherd.
That was a random reference.
Was that an advert?
I think the Brit Awards is on ITV, but it's very rare that kind of thing gets mentioned, isn't it?
Because they're like real terrified they're going to get cancelled for the rugby.
They're probably hastily rewriting the scripts at the moment to say that she's going to go to the British Soap Awards this year. It's like, oh, damn it, we've got to change that now.
Where is it? When is it? What's it on?
Well, I guess it's next week, isn't it?
I think I thought because the Brit Awards has got Brit in it was the BBC.
No, I'm pretty sure it's ITV. Look, nobody's interested in what channel it's on, Gemma. It's going to be at the Co-op Live Arena in Manchester for the first time. It's going to be held outside of London. That's a pretty big deal. I guess so. It's a bit like back in the day they would have Norris at the stadium for the Commonwealth Games, and he'd be there,
and he'd wave at somebody.
Medal.
He'd wave at somebody, and then there would be a celebrity like delivering their line in the most wooden manner possible.
Yes. Are we going to see Mary at the Brits? No.
No. Is Ben Shepherd going? I don't know.
But yeah, I quite like the reference.
It would be quite fun if they did make poor Patty Claire go to the Brit Awards just to film a funny...
Well, anyway. You can't do that because it's being shown on ITVX at 7 o'clock in the morning and it won't have happened by then, will it?
So is it it's not a leap year, is it? It's not a leap year. She says, I wish it was a leap year. And then Cassie's like, oh, that's when women can...
Oh yeah, it's not a leap year.
No, it's not a leap year. That's when women can propose to men. So then she and Mary talk in the cab office later and tell Tim that that Cassie's going to propose to Steve.
How lovely.
I think it'll go well.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Right, couple of storylines left. Just blast through this.
Jimmy Hoops and Oliver Hardley.
Another iconic couple in the making, Ollie and Lauren, are going to go out on a date on Tuesday.
Do you think that Lauren's into food?
Why?
Lauren doesn't seem like the sort of woman... Like, it's like me and you. Like, Ollie loves food so much, he cooks and he cares about everything. And you literally would live off pasta
Gemma
bakes.
sent me a text the other day, and I saw this part of the text appear before the other text.
Oh, yeah.
She sent me a message saying, I think we should break up.
Yeah.
And I was like, what on earth is this?
Yeah.
And attached to that was a Reddit thread about, are you a foodie and have you been out with a picky eater? And then you said, look, this is just saying it's not
Everybody in that thread was either saying, it's a deal breaker for me, I would never date anybody who didn't love food as much as I do, or I dated somebody who didn't like food as much as I do, and we had to break up because it was just the nightmare.
Well, they should have got a podcast together, shouldn't they? But yeah, I can't imagine that Lauren has been brought up on the finer
She also
cuisine.
seems like the sort of person who's proud of not liking fancy food.
Yeah, she definitely would not want to have Ollie's homemade beans.
No, she wouldn't.
No.
She'd hate that.
She probably goes for like Freshco's value beans. And
That's
things.
what I eat.
Anyway, so that they're going on a date. Maggie doesn't approve of it because she doesn't want her precious Ollie sullying himself with the local
Single mother.
slapper, maybe.
Murderess.
And so she does. To be fair to her, she does herself up very
Possible
lovely.
Jimmy Savile cult member.
What?
Possible Jimmy Savile cult
Why
member.
is she that?
Because she wears tracksuits like a Jimmy.
Oh yeah. She does herself
I
up
told you
very
she's
nicely
Jimmy
for the
Hoops.
date. But she's getting nervous about it, and she thinks that Maggie's right in saying that they're not right for each other. And Betsy tries to give her a bit of a confidence boost, but Lauren's just not taking it because she'd much rather be miserable, as we know. So she stands Ollie up, which is bad enough for him, but at least he gets a free pud from Toya. And then Wednesday, oh my gosh, it's so dark. It's only short, but I can't even bring myself to talk about it. Lauren's in a snarky mood. She wants to apologise to Ollie for standing him up. And then Amy comes in and Lauren says, "Oh, you and Ollie look cosy. Fill your boots, I'm done with him. Is Amy and Ollie going to be a partner? I don't know." God,
Everyone's saying, a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people saying that would be incestuous.
What, Ollie and Amy?
Ben is Ollie's dad.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, I hadn't thought of that. Amy, Steve. Yeah.
Half.
Well, maybe that's
You're
how
half
they're going
nuncle.
with it. Maybe
Would
that's
it
what
be?
they're going with it. Right, Gemma, what has been going on with our lovely
hang on.
Deborah Webber?
Hang on.
What?
Do you truly think that Lauren and Ollie are doomed and you hate the
I
idea?
don't think they're doomed. I just think they're dull.
Lauren isn't really that dull. I think Ollie is the one that it could be the making of him. You don't know. It could be fun. Like remember Gemma and Henry? It'd be kind of like that.
No,
Ollie's a bit of a posh boy.
I
I
am
don't think he
100%
realises.
on Maggie's side here, thinking that she is just an utter misery guts. She is. That's how they're playing her up. She's a misery gut. She's narky with the customers. she's got a cob on all the time, and he's just a little bit safe and boring, isn't
She
he?
should get a job at the factory. I know I said that she should be a cleaner and have her own business, but I also think that they're really missing a Lauren-like character in the factory. She'd be great in the factory, wouldn't she? Because no one cares if you're polite, but they don't have enough funny scenes in there for her. I don't think.
No, I don't think they do anymore. The factory lot are not, what they want.
But can you imagine her like in the proper heyday of Corrie machinists? She'd be great in there. I think the thing, Lauren,
but
there's a place for her in Corrie, and I don't know that it's behind the bar of the Rovers.
People like Janice and I don't know, Kelly Crabtree were a bit rude and mean to other people, but they had a laugh. And
what about that one that ended up being a secret twin? Was she not a machinist, or was she?
yeah, well, who?
The one
Jessie
who
and
died?
Joanne?
No.
Oh,
The one who died.
who are you talking about?
Was she the one who died in the bed? And then she had a twin sister who's also a bitch.
Oh, Edna. Yeah, no.
Was she a machinist?
Yes, she was a machinist. I don't know. I really want to love Lauren more. Show more of her fun side.
No,
Maybe
what?
this
I
is
don't
it.
know. I don't know.
I don't know.
There's a room for
it's
a
real
character
mystery.
like hers. Maybe it's because she's too young. Maybe it's because she hasn't grown into like being a bitch. You're like, why are you so mad? You're beautiful and young. There's so much madness ahead of you.
It's just really difficult because we know what Kate Fitton is like,
She's
and
so
she's lovely
nice.
and smiley, and she's cheerful,
I'm
and
like
she's
pulling for the best
absolutely
for her.
super. And that's what I would really like Lauren to be. And I know, she's an actress. Actresses don't have to play characters;
No,
they're
no.
exactly like them. But I just can't pull myself away from the fact that I love Kate more than I love Lauren. It's a little bit like with Lou, isn't it? Like Farrell Haggerty, I've never met her, but from seeing her on Instagram is so much fun, and I think that does colour my enjoyment of Lou. because Lou's clearly a bit of a cow. But it's like, no, she's great. She's a load of fun
Almost-
because I'm thinking of Farrell.
Almost everyone we've ever met who works on Quarry, I think is really great, and I would love their characters. You know, I'm pulling for everybody to have a successful character, and for them to have great stories, and for us to either love them or find them compelling, or love to hate them, or if they're a villain or whatever. Like almost everybody, and Kate Fitton is one, and anyone who I complain about, pretty much. With very few exceptions.
I love how you're putting your caveats in.
I wish the best for them, and their characters.
Yeah.
So whenever we're moaning about a character, it doesn't mean that we...
No, it's just the way that the way that they're being written.
Yeah.
Right, go on then. Deborah Webberer, what's she been getting up to this week?
Well...
She wants Ronnie to transfer the money, doesn't she, on Monday?
Ronnie visits Debbie and she tells him about this idea that she's had to give £2,000 to Carl. And he says, no, you're being manipulated. And she says, no way, look, I owe him. I abandoned him. He deserves it. And Ronnie's like, no, he's a wrong-un. And she says, no, I don't care. Transfer the money. And he says, no, he tried to ruin you. He's only out for himself. I think they're eyeing up the hotel. They're up to something. And he says, you're being ridiculous. Just transfer the money. I don't know if he does do that. I guess he does.
Does he?
Because Ronnie is with Ed in the bistro later. And Ed's like, look, see the bigger picture. Go along with what Debbie wants at the moment. And, be strategic. But then Carl comes in and winds them up by saying he's going to buy a nice posh steak.
But I don't know whether the money has been transferred.
No,
or whether
I think
he
that
just
would indicate
knows imminently that money is coming.
If you didn't want to have him come in and literally say, thanks for the money, you idiot.
He doesn't. He says, guten Appetit, meine Herren.
Well, that was wrong, isn't it? You said that was wrong in some way.
No, that was fine.
I think you said he said something wrong the other day in German.
No, I don't remember. Anyway, so we didn't get much Debbie. Didn't get much any Lou this week, I don't think, did we? Maybe next week. Anyway, that was the end of a very long and silly
Do you know what
street
we had?
talk. What?
A loo break.
We did have a loo break, didn't we? Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yay!
I like that. What are we scoring this week's Coronation Street?
I'm just happy with myself.
That's a good one.
Brilliant. Right, so what happened? I said this week it felt like I was being drip fed. I really am not liking this format. I think that it doesn't feel like... I know it's half an hour less than before, but because each episode is on a different day, I feel like they can't get as much done. I don't know why and whether that's true. I just feel like, and I do think that sometimes an hour was too long and it dragged, but I don't know that this is a good solution.
It depends on the episode. Some of it is working, some of it is not working, so I'm not holding it against it. And
But
the
thing is, they're kind of constrained now to a point where if it's a big story in a week, something has to happen every day, and that doesn't really make sense for every story. Doesn't work, like if something happens every day of the week to a character, you start to think like, why are you letting this happen? You know what I mean? Like, what? Because you've got to fill every episode, and there's only one story beat really, or like there's only one thing that can moving this story forward, and we've got to wait till Friday for it to happen.
I totally. I get what you're saying.
They're constrained by the format more, I think, with this.
Swings and roundabouts. I will not. I'm not going to say I've got a problem with it.
No, okay,
but
I'm not afraid to say when I do have a problem with it.
I will say I wasn't so keen on this week's Corrie. I think the legal stuff kind of took over, and that was to its detriment this week. I thought Mal at the beginning of the week was absolutely brilliant. I love watching him.
I did love Kit.
thought that the Jodie side of things, part of it was kind of interesting. We didn't see a box this week, did we?
Yes, we did, because she put Bernie's face
on
it.
Yes, we did, didn't we? That side of things I'm really loving. I'm not happy with the fact that she's going after David, but it was clearly going to happen, and I thought that the fact that we've seen Olivia now, that's keeping me going.
Do you think that maybe she is a kleptomaniac, and the reason that she left Olivia's house is because she stole something?
I wonder. I don't know.
And the parents kicked her out, but didn't tell the kids.
It is more. It's not just a kleptomaniac, is it?
Or was she being?
It's literally trinkets.
Maybe she tried to seduce the dad.
Maybe. She's clearly She takes things from her victims, doesn't she?
Yeah, it's not like I steal anything. It's like I steal to be vindictive, which is definitely different.
Yeah, but I still can't quite work out why she took the picture of Bernie. Like, what's in it for her to do that? I'm not sure.
Malicious.
I thought, the stuff with Jim was a lot of fun. I think. Ooh, okay. The George stuff mostly worked. I am going to give this week's Coronation Street 2 sugars in the tea at Shuttleworth, so it's actually 3 out of 5 for me this week.
But you only wanted 1. No, that's not.
No, I want 3, so I'm asking for 2, so they give me 3. I'm giving it 3 out of 5, everybody. What about you?
Would they give you 1 sugar because you didn't ask for any? Because that would be a disaster for you.
Yeah, it would a little bit, wouldn't it?
I don't want 2 sugars in my tea.
I'm going to give my character of the week 2.
What did you give it? 3?
3, yeah. A long-winded way of saying 3. I really enjoyed Christina this week, of course. I've got a feeling that she's just going to be one of these characters that shoots up the rankings of our character of the weeks. I think I might actually give it to Mal this week, and I know he was only in half of it, but I really enjoyed watching his kind of crazy rantings. So I'm not supporting him as a character, obviously. He was just the one that I was most fascinated to watch. So Mal's my character of the week.
He's such a good actor. I'm also going to give this 3 because I lost patience a bit. I wonder if we watched them all in a row, whether I would feel any different.
Right, well, you get 3 what? 3 what?
3... Oh, I don't know. 3... No, I know you've written some down that I could pick.
No, 3... You're supposed to make it sound like it's spontaneous.
3 secret brothers of Jim McDonald.
No, sons of Jim McDonald.
3 secret sons. I'm gonna...
I was rooting for you to say 3 Mississippis that Bernie's tongue was down Mel's throat.
No, I don't like it.
Character of the week. You gotta pick, don't leave me hanging, you gotta say.
I know, but I want to say Christina as well. But
I didn't say Christina, I said
who did you say? Oh, Christina.
There we go.
Hooray!
Decided. What about you, listeners?
I love her.
There we go. That is Street Talk. Very silly Street Talk.
This was ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
This should never be listened to.
Sorry for the people that don't like this. You're welcome to the people that do. But that is the end of Street Talk.